Ahoy.
Can we do ahoy, matey?
Ahoy. Am I sinking?
It's slowly decreasing in
melting,
size.
melting. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So the more I pound on the
It's
table,
not going to stay up. You need some tape or something, bro?
Yeah, we got duct tape.
Duct tape.
Let's see. Hold on. It's fine.
Okay, for now. What are you going to do in the middle of the show when it fucks up?
Take a little blue pill. It'll be good.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, heard, Chef. Heard. So we do have rules on this show.
Uh-oh.
The first rule is we have beer. So what are we drinking?
Beer here.
This is a wonderful New Zealand Pilsner that we make called Side Hustle.
Everybody loves a side hustle.
It's really tasty. It's been like my new fave beer. The brewers wanted to make kind of like a spicy, fancy pills instead of just like a
that's a cool
total
can.
crusher.
Nice.
But it ends up being a real crusher of a beer, anyways.
I like that can. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's good looking.
It's refreshing for this like warm weather, and also adds enough flavor, so you're drinking a craft
That's
beer
a
too.
that's a
which
nice
is
beer.
cool.
Yeah.
So I'm digging
Second
this.
rule. What would be the second rule? If you burp, just lean into it.
Right into the mic.
We like to judge the burps.
Nice.
Nigel's a harsh judge. You should just know that going in.
I'm like the Russian judge.
Okay.
We usually throw his score out, actually.
That's bullshit. We will judge harshly on the burps. I'm just going to call it.
Did you already say that we can swear? Whatever words you want to say.
Yeah, whatever words. The only kid that
we're
listens to
grown-ups.
the show is his son, who's
Oh,
like
okay, we can
his
say
son. Is he's 15?
He's 16 or
But-
93.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Well, he's going like 33.
93.
So we've got beers. What else do we need to know?
Good show. Good show.
Good show. You've
We're
never
done.
said-
show.
That's
you
it.
said- you said
Good night,
that.
folks.
Have a good show.
I'm spent.
Yeah. Well, that was fun.
Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, promotional products and design. They cover your brand bumper to bumper with graphic design, promo products, and print. See what Dire Oil Graphics can build for you at direoil.com. That's DYEROIL.com.
Is it over yet?
Yes.
Is it over?
Much like your love life, yes.
That was like, sounds like.
Who fucking says love life anyway? No one. Okay. Welcome to Beers with Nigel.
Ahoy.
Glad to be here.
It's a podcast show
about beer.
about a beer and other stuff.
Things.
I'm the Nigel. That's the Nick.
I'm the other guy.
We're on the road again.
We're starting strong.
We are. City Barrel. It's Nick's first time here. Well,
second.
maybe not. Welcome to the show, boys.
Welcome to City Barrel.
Introduce yourselves.
All right. This is Joseph Glammanco over here.
Why'd you introduce him?
He's already not following
This
instructions.
is radio. Hi, my name is Grant Wayner, co-owner here at City Barrel Brewing Company. I do sales and get the word out about our beers.
And I'm Joe Glammanco. I'm one of the other co-owners here. I just do whatever is needed. Well, I handle a lot of our front of house operations and accounting and HR and electrical and plumbing and.
He also holds
Yep.
the mic like a gangster.
He really does.
Nice.
You
Is
got
it
to
okay?
bust a rhyme?
Is this okay?
No, it's great.
Yeah, he's got
It's
like
kind
a
of
real.
like, what's his name
real-
from Strange Days?
Yeah,
like
I forget his name. Oh, Trevor.
To do a little.
Yeah, he was.
drop
He
a
was,
love you.
he was holding. He was. I'm
Drop
like,
some
bro, you
beats.
about to drop a beat? And then
I'm not
shout
dropping a
out to
beat.
James. He's off camera. He's doing. He's
Yeah.
doing.
James Stutzman, do you
James
want to
Stutzman
come
back there.
introduce yourself?
He's working. So well,
He says no.
that was
Yeah.
a terrible
He's
burp
busy.
to start
I
off
think it
with.
was better if we'd had our headphones on.
Heard, Chef. Heard. Anyway, welcome to the show, boys. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a long time. I'm a big fan of you guys. I've been coming to this building. I remember the first time I came to this building,
Ooh, tell me about it.
and there was nothing here.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were in here.
You remember
before we
back?
had anything.
It was you guys did that little pop up.
Yeah.
A bunch of people came in. It was super cool.
Now, was that the one? Did we have beers behind tables, or were we pouring beers through Volkswagen?
No,
van?
it was the tables.
Okay,
it
right
was
on.
Like,
yeah,
It was like early.
that was
early.
like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
that would have been like August 2018,
Yeah.
maybe.
That big open was so fun.
Yeah,
we
that
had
was. Or July,
we had our
maybe.
first chef in here. He was pumping up food. Shout out to Isaac. He did a great job on that
Yep.
and
Yep.
making
Heck
everybody
yeah.
feel welcome.
Yeah, that was
including
fun.
us. I feel like we've just been faking it till we make it on this whole,
It's a
ride
pretty
and
good
everything.
fake job.
we're doing the best we can.
Bro,
Pretty
it's all
good-
smoke and mirrors.
A pretty good fake brewery going on right now.
It's all smoke and mirrors, baby.
I mean, at least when you fake it, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
what you got to do. So who wants to talk about how the City Barrel brand and idea came about? Because I
Now-
remember you guys at the Homebrew Fest.
Yeah.
And
All
this,
right.
this is what I remember at Nano. You always had the longest
Yeah,
fucking
nice
lines.
one, Grant.
Yeah.
That was not a great burp, by the way.
Oh, I'm
just gonna call it.
I just
I'm not a
complimented you.
big. I'm not. I
Hey,
don't.
we
I
built,
don't.
we built
my
people
burps-
up here, Grant. That was wonderful.
You know, I am amazed actually at the amount of people that we've had on the show who claim to either not be able to burp or just not good burpers.
Yeah, I was just about to head down that road, but
You're
we'll
not a
see.
good
You know
burper.
what? Yeah, I don't know if I.
And then
if
there
I
are
could get
some-
I haven't practiced my burp projection game. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like if we had headphones.
It would sound better.
Yeah, it
but
probably
then
would.
there are also those like our buddy Alana who could you
Yeah,
can hear her
you guys
smile
know Alana.
away.
Yeah, she can burp.
She's got those talents.
She can burp off mic and you can still hear it.
Hell yeah.
This is the go check.
Proven. The concept has been
yeah,
proven.
yeah. Go check out the what episode was that? That was at
River Bluff.
River Bluff. Yeah,
KC.
KC. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was off camera and off microphone and burped out loud.
The other side of
And
the tap room.
It was super
that's incredible.
audible.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's her. So let's talk about the history of
Yeah.
the
So
brand.
history of the brand. So James and I were both brewery professionals prior to this, but also home brewers. And then Joe is a professional entrepreneur prior to this as well. So we tried to come at it with as much professionality as possible. But I'd been home brewing after having worked at two different Budweiser distributors for about 9 years, and was just out in the world doing the thing, doing the beer stuff, and kept running into to James Stutzman, and he was doing all that as well, and we get to talking, and his resume is pretty cool. He was with Casey Beer Co. Before opening and 2 years
Okay.
through,
Yep.
and was their director of marketing there,
Got
and
their
then
brand up and running and
Yep,
everything.
and absolutely, and then went on to work at Deschutes as a regional sales guy.
Oh, shit, okay.
And which is just great. And meanwhile, the whole time homebrewing for like 12 years, and his homebrew prowess is super cool because he actually worked through. James, help me out. What's the name of that book? Is it the Scott Janish? Yes.
You got the
Brewing
J's there.
Classic Styles by Zanishev.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
so he brewed through all of the recipes in that
What?
book, which is a feat.
Wow.
So it gives them a context of all these different styles and really an approach to like the most quintessential way to brew those
Yeah.
styles. My homebrew background was a lot more focused in on. I wanted to do sours. I was doing
Really?
mixed fermentation
Okay.
sours at home
Grant's
only.
the whole long con of this business is that Grant was like, all right, cool. I'll keep doing this with you guys, but I get to drink as many sours as I want. And this whole time.
That was a real concern.
And the one thing that we had to do, so we had to go like raise funds and get stuff going, but we kept taking all of Grant's sours that he'd been working on for like a year, 2 years,
Yep.
3 years. And poor Grant was like this like kid watching like somebody take away his puppy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Grant, we have to send these out. The
I had
bakers,
been
the bakers
brewing
need to know.
these to be blended to send to homebrew competitions.
Got it.
And like the year that we started really needing to get those out in front of people was the year that I was really I thought poised to win a medal or two.
Well, and
out there
everything
just on the
came
homebrew.
ready at that time too.
Yeah. But
Yeah, and so Grant's not telling you. On the other side, then James came to me. I owned a business for a little bit, and then like was done with that. And James was like, "Hey, you're looking for something else to do." So he was like, he sold Grant Wayner to me as, man, it was the Overland Park Arboretum.
Yeah.
There was a beer fest there in
Yeah.
like 6 years
well,
ago.
they were doing it years and years and years.
Well,
in a
there
row.
was one year where like a tornado or a microburst
Yes.
came through.
Yeah, that was
and,
wild.
Grant and James, he goes, man, I spent like 3 hours drinking whiskey underneath a bridge with this guy. He's freaking awesome. You got to meet him. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Why is that not a beer name?
Yeah.
Yeah, we James and I got to talking at various different events, like Torn Labels. It was either a taproom anniversary or their brewery's
Yeah.
anniversary. That we're big fans of them and friends with them as well. And so visiting there, we just happened to both had small kids, and when you got little kids and a homebrew habit. You would want to
one of those
right?
is, one of those is suffering.
You would want to homebrew on a
Sorry,
Saturday,
kids.
but it takes all day. And when the kids are super little, you can't be you can't be a dad and a homebrewer at the
Yeah.
same time. Like, it just doesn't work. And so we were both taking. I think I took a Tuesday off and he took a Wednesday off to brew our batches of beer at that time. And so he invited me over to. It was his house first.
Yep.
And I just got a lawn chair and sat there and drank beer, and we BS'd about, like, what kind of beers do you like to make? How do you like to make them? How do you approach recipe design? If you had your own brewery, what kind of glassware, what styles would you
Wow.
make? What kind of glassware? What kind of, like,
That's
what
not-
would
that's
you
not the
want it to look
conversation
like?
I've had at homebrew
What part of
days.
town would it be in? Well, but, like...
Somebody was grooming you.
right? And then we go over to my house and brew, and similar conversations again, and we just felt like after that we owed it to ourselves to try it out. And that's when James called and was like, dude, you got to meet this Joe guy. And we went to lunch, and just seemed like a good fit all the way.
And then we hung out. We had a nice long car ride. Went and visited Sandhills Brewing over in Hutch.
Hutchinson,
And,
all the way down there.
They only spent $10,000 to open that brewery.
It was actually 15.
15. Sorry.
That's what they thought to open a brewery, is 15,000.
So looking at that, I was like, oh, this is a great deal. We can easily do this.
No, that was a great trip. We stopped at Central Standard. Love those guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
great brewery.
Was that the Walnut River trip too?
Walnut River as
Visited
well.
those.
Yeah, and they were all very.
Dude, everybody was so cool. That's the big thing I always preach is if you're looking at, like going from homebrew to pro, talk to as many people. I mean, it's the bonus thing that you get to do is there's this amazing community of people that are
what
willing
other
to.
industry shares
Totally.
things? No
Shares-
other industry.
Yeah.
like the
It's
secrets.
crazy.
Yeah, it
and
opened
it's-
up my world
Or
on it.
Yeah.
come over and help fix something.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great. And to this day, we're right in the middle of fourth year of operation, and if any of the neighboring breweries
Yeah.
calls and needs something, and we've got it, we'll hook them up, and same thing. Truth is, we'll be calling,
Yeah.
for help as well. And so,
Let's go back a little bit.
sure.
As a home brewer, did you start with a Mr. Beer kit?
Okay. So for me personally, my good buddy, disc golf buddy, just somebody me and this guy started a moped club together.
Oh,
That's
a gang.
That's
That's
a
a
gang.
gang.
Scooter gang.
Yeah, it's a gang.
Did you wear leather?
What's that?
Did you wear leather?
No, we never had leather. We didn't have we do have a logo. But
Of course you do.
Nice.
Created
But
by the
anyway,
marketing agency down the street.
so we were kicking around because I was working in beer professionally, and people talk about the mash and they talk about the boil and they talk about the dry. What does dry hopping mean when you're a guy who's got to talk professionally about beer but you haven't seen it done?
Yeah.
It's you start to feel silly at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point
yeah.
if you don't know what it means
Yeah.
to mash or what that is even. And so I thought it was important. So I'm kicking it around. We're disc golfing. Me and this guy Jim Tharp, he's a good friend, awesome guy. And we're like, dude, we should try to homebrew or something. And he was like, well, dude, my dad used to make wine at home. I was like, oh, that's a thing. Okay, cool. And he's got a carboy, and that kind of got us started. He did get that $50 kit from Bed Bath & Beyond for Christmas.
Yes.
It was
Wow.
a blonde ale.
That's a new one.
That's
for
a
me.
first.
He brewed it without me, and I was like no. And
now-
I tasted it, and he had done a great job with it. It tasted wonderful. I was so jealous.
Wow.
And we jumped in together right then. I
This
was
is
like,
why Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business. They stopped selling brew kits.
they stopped
If
selling
if they had
those
just pushed the brew
kits.
kit,
Yeah,
they would still be alive.
yeah.
So-
Who fits into the B?
Yeah, so we love this question.
Sure.
So obviously, the Bed Bath Beyond brew kit, which is a new one for us. What were you drinking? You've been in the business, so there was something you were drinking, and what turned you on to something that was not a macro? Do you remember what you were drinking, and when you came across something, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so like you guys, I'm sure I had it's a journey, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
first beer ever was probably a sip off of whatever Dad was drinking when I was tiny. I mean, we're talking
probably
first
light
memory,
beer,
light beer of some sort,
something.
or I don't even know if they were making. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, but
somebody
I
just
can
burp?
tell you my first
Was that a
real
cry
beer-
burp?
Oh my god, it was a cry
Nice.
burp. It was so quiet. Oh, that's so cute.
Quiet.
Thank you very much for that burp.
This,
Anyway, we digress from
All
that.
right, exactly. So the first beer that I ever sat down and drank was kind of late. I felt like I was 16, was at a house party, and it was a Bud Light, and I remember it was in a bottle, and I didn't like the taste,
Yeah.
and it got to the point where I'm forcing it down,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tilting it back, and it gets warm that
Yeah.
last
Ugh,
bit,
yeah,
your first
yeah.
time ever.
Yeah.
Now, you know, fast forward to college, and it was so much natural light. I mean, at
'Cause
our,
that's what you could afford,
I went-
right?
exactly. I went to what's now called University of Central Missouri. It was Central Missouri State University back then. And I mean, do you guys ever play the card game Presidents and Assholes?
Yes.
Or, we just called it Asshole.
Yes.
It's the way
you weren't
I learned
drinking
it.
craft beer with that, were you?
No, no.
Shit, I was like, you'd be
that
dead.
was all. That
You'd
was
be
all
dead.
Natty Light. But then getting into working for those Budweiser distributors.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all Bud Light. It was so much Bud Light.
Were you getting that shit for free?
You would think, but not at all. Not very
think they
much
have
at all.
tight
Yeah,
inventory
the very
controls over
tight
there.
inventory control.
you gotta
There
control
were,
the Bud Lights.
You don't get that-
They
you don't get
would
that
send
big.
home some. They have an issue with sending home out of date.
That was
forced.
super forced, bro.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
felt it coming and I didn't
Yeah,
want to
bro.
let it go.
Yeah, no, just let that one go, bro.
All
Just
right,
out the
so-
side of your mouth. It's fine.
That's you can't turn your head. You're fine.
All right, so no, they do have tight inventory controls, but no, move to Kansas City, start hanging out with folks that are drinking a lot of Boulevard wheat.
Yeah.
We were kind of regulars at O'Dowd's,
Yeah.
and so it was pretty natural to order a Guinness.
Guinness, too.
And
I
then-
forgot about
Yeah.
that.
And then that was kind of my gateway. I remember there was
Gotcha.
an Irish Fest, which is heavily, I think, only sponsored by Boulevard at that time, and they ran out of wheat, and I was like, oh shit, let me get their stout, right? And then they ran out of that, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna like any
That
of
was
this.
the only beer available at that festival then.
Well, they had maybe 4 brands, so they run out of wheat. I knew I didn't want to try the pale
Yeah.
yet because I think I had a sip, and at that time, being a Bud Light drinker, like too hoppy, right? And then,
Oh my God,
and then,
too hoppy.
Too hoppy.
and
Too
so
hoppy.
I'm like, I guess I'll try the porter. I'm certain I'm gonna hate it. I taste it. I don't hate it, and then so it's an evolution,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I could also tell you, like the first time I had a hoppy beer that just lit up my brain was Furious IPA. From Surly.
Yeah.
I had been trying IPAs and trying
Yeah,
IPAs and finally, boom, that one was just like, I love this.
Yeah.
Like I cannot get enough
Yeah.
of this. I got to get more of this.
Yeah.
What else is like
Yeah.
this? And so, and then away we go with the brewing.
What's your history? How you got into beer, and what was the thing you were drinking, and the thing that turned you on to actually good beer?
So I think for me it was definitely drank a lot of macro brew in college, and then I remember going home. Shit, maybe this was even in high school, but we went to a
course it
Denny's.
was.
Went to a Denny's, and I have 2 instances.
No
that I
story
remember.
ends well that starts
went to a
with
Denny's.
I went to
Sir,
a Denny's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. So we went to a Denny's, and my buddy. So I lived up in the burbs in Chicago, and my buddy snuck me a Goose Island Honker Ale.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like,
Yeah.
which I really liked that. I don't even know if they still make it, but it was this malty, super hoppy beer. That was one of my first like introductions into hops. And then on the other side, one of my buddy's parents had like a bunch of, I don't even know the brand. It was like St. Bernard or Abbey or
Oh,
something.
the Bernardus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, or maybe it was a Polliner.
Sure.
Anyways, it was like caramely and malty and delicious. And I was like, I didn't know that beer could taste like this.
Yeah.
And so then, you drink what you can afford. So
Yep.
then, I had that little foray. And then afterwards, I just started getting into craft beers. They're just so fun. And having one of the worst craft beers I had was here in town at the defunct 75th Street Brewery. They had
Yeah.
a 4-time. Now, a lot of amazing brewers came out of 75th Street Brewery.
Yeah. It's got a great history.
This was, I don't know
Yeah,
what
shout
was
out to
going on, but they
Micah.
were.
yeah.
The coaching tree is strong.
Yeah,
for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. I
No,
don't know
and
how
like,
it was, but the
During
tree
this
is good.
time, it was the hop wars where you were like hopping as much as possible. Before there, I got introduced to a pumpkin beer, which I fell in love with, drank so much of that I rode my bike home and I fell over on my bike and I just left my bike on the ground. I don't know. Still don't know where it went. And then I went back the next week and they were like, you got to try this one. It's this turbo hop beer. It was a 4 times hopped IPA. It was the worst beer. It was so bad. And I was in their mug club and I took that beer and I snuck back into the men's room and I dumped it out in the urinal.
I feel like all those beers at 75th were pretty experimental.
Yeah.
You know, because
No, for sure. Nobody else
that
was
really
doing it.
wasn't the game back then.
Yeah.
And I remember I lived in Westport at the time, and I would go there, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And nothing really caught on. But the amount of people that have referenced that, I mean, I didn't know fucking Danner used to work there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What the
A
hell?
lot
and
of
Micah-
the local homebrew club people like kind of came.
They would go.
That's where they
at
went and
least
hung out and it kind of
hang.
started.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely, for
crazy.
sure.
Yeah, Micah at
do-
Stockyards has pedigree there too.
You're
Yeah.
talking about quadruple hop. Do you guys
Dude.
remember the IBU wars?
Yeah,
Like
that's what it was.
2010, 2011, 2012. I mean,
the only one that I dug that was huge IBU, and they've changed the recipe, and it's only in 4-packs now. Hop Stupid from Lagunitas.
Oh, yeah.
That thing used
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
When I found out you could go to Hy-Vee and buy that thing for less than $4, bro.
What a deal.
Oh my God! Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? The bomber,
Yeah.
the Deuce
Oh,
Deuce,
yeah.
the 22 ounce.
Yeah.
I had 3 of those a week. You know what I'm saying?
Heck
and
yeah.
I got introduced to that particular beer. Shout out to my girl Jessica, who opened Mingle in downtown Lee Summit.
Awesome.
She was one of the first people to have craft beer in a case, and she had all bombers. And that's when I discovered Hop Stupid. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
guess I liked hoppy beer, but I didn't realize that I really loved hoppy beer.
Oh, sure.
Until I had the Hop Stupid, because supposedly it was 100 IBU. You know, I
That was
tell
when they
people
were
now
just like,
it's-
yeah, get it as much as possible.
yeah. So, the City Barrel, you guys met each other. How did that happen? Who was the madman to say, hey, let's start a brewery?
Yeah, the man.
Yeah, was it in progress when they came and said, "Hey, you got to go meet this guy"?
You know those conversations that you have at a bar with somebody where you're always like, we need to open up a brewery or a bar. Well, James had been having those conversations independently with both me and with Grant at some point in time.
Well,
And-
obviously, because he was
Yeah.
like, "So what glassware do you want?"
Yeah.
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 Hey,
sure.
if we were
For
to do
sure.
a bar,
Yeah, for sure.
James was the full catalyst behind everything. He's always the man that matches people to things, and he essentially put together like a killer team that we believed in on everything. So James is for sure the instigator on it all and the organizer and getting everything going. And now we've been on such a crazy ass journey on this thing, and you have these expectations when you open, and you think certain things, and the best part is that a lot of those things they're 100% wrong. So you get to either change it or adopt it or do what you want, but it just all depends.
he's going for a mystery beer
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, Grant.
Although it's not really
this
a
one's
mystery.
not really a mystery.
I'm gonna pull a not a mystery.
I mean, I've got
Unless,
my
While
unless-
he's
don't let me
open-
mess
while
up your
he's
flow.
open.
No,
because I
it's
felt
all
like
good.
that
I've
was
got
a-
the mystery
Dude,
beer
I
bag.
love the golf. Hey, that looks like it came from
Golf theme, baby.
somewhere where it should stay. That looks like an illegal bag.
Yeah. We know.
Nice.
We know. I know the guy who gave it. Well, he left it at my house. He's not talking.
Maybe that's because there was something else in that bag.
That the mystery bag is this beautiful golf bag, green
It
and
is, it
golf
is.
clubs. It looks like something you would get maybe at a place that features golf.
So this. Go ahead.
Well, so what was it? What was the thing where he finally convinced you that all his babbling was real? Like, was there a moment that went, "Oh, we're really doing this"?
I tried the beer that would eventually become Rad AF, and then I also tried sours from Grant, and honestly, just the combo of those, and honestly, the team, like everybody together as people, that was the other piece. I was like, okay, it's kind of like you want to create an experience or everything, and even in the business, you want to create a great experience. And so with James and Grant and me together as a killer team, it felt right on everything. So, but Grant's my first taste of Rad, and being like, oh shit, this is life changing. Well, I said like my least favorite beer was that triple, and then Grant was like, well, we added a ton of hops, just as much as you probably had in that triple.
Right.
And I loved the fact that even with that in that IPA category, we could still kind of play around, and that's still our jam on everything. Is just explore that world within the IPAs.
And that's what he poured.
Yeah, so and that's why I knew that was going to be a good segue.
Oh,
Grant's always setting up the long con on
you
stuff.
Can't tell the story of City Barrel
mates.
without talking about rad.
It's at this point it's iconic.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
thanks,
For you
yeah.
guys, it's
No, that's part of the KC beer landscape.
for
I
sure.
like this beer. We've been drinking it for, well, shit. We started the discussion in 2017.
Yep.
I think on this whole
Yeah,
thing, and then
it was an August day,
and then opened in
2017,
2019, and 4
Yeah.
years later, we all are still talking to each other.
Yeah.
we all still
That's
like each
good.
other.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I am still I get fatigued on beers. If you're drinking something a ton of, it's going to be tiring. But this rad just has I don't know, whatever it is, I can drink this without any issues.
Yeah.
Granted we're biased on it, but shit, for me this beer is it hits
but
on every
it,
note.
it's kind of right in the middle of something being hazy because it could be too much or not enough.
Yeah.
It hits. I think that's why
Yeah.
people love it, because it hits right in the middle. Because this is a beer. As a beer tender, I could give it to somebody, but I don't like IPAs, and you give them that, they're like, "That's an IPA."
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, "There's a beer looking for you.
Yeah.
Just hadn't found you yet." Not IPA does not mean hot bomb, and a lot of people are.
You're not supposed to say hoppy.
Melissa,
I heard that on the-
Melissa Cole says, "Don't say hobby."
Yeah.
The English, that wonderful English lady.
Yeah.
She's awesome. We love you,
So,
Melissa.
no,
Yeah,
this,
because what does hoppy mean? It could be bitter, it could be citrusy, it could be juicy.
I mean, technically, hoppy means it has hops in it. Really,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean,
Right.
but as we know,
Right.
there's all different kind of hops.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think
you
it's
know.
been fun
So-
on this journey that we're going on with it. And that's, for me, I like interesting things. I like trying things. I like experimenting. And the whole craft brewery world obviously is into that too, which is why we always try and have new beers rocking and rolling. But
Yeah.
this beer's shit pardon me. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah, you-
it's
It's
fine.
Actually,
Oh my gosh.
the wrong thing you did was apologize.
we have to bleep that out.
The apology, exactly.
Well, a guy came in today, and he actually was very new into his modern beer journey. Just now, he just came in from Joplin, Missouri. And he was like, "Man, I just
My hometown.
oh, really? Hell
Nice.
I don't like to claim it.
yeah! Well, it's
you just did.
All
I know.
Missouri's fun. And so he was like, "Man, I hated." I just said I hated IPAs, which is, as a craft brewer, you really don't want to hear that, but you have to understand. And there was such a segment of the market just putting these terribly hoppy, bitter IPAs out, which have a time and a place, but it basically ruined this guy on beers. So he
Yeah.
was like, "I don't like IPAs,"
Yeah.
and he came in here literally not more than 20 minutes ago and was like, "I love IPAs." He's like, "I just didn't understand what I was looking for." And I was
Right.
like, "Great, now good luck. Now you're gonna spend a shit ton of money."
That's 50-11.
And I was
That's a
like,
shit
"And there's
ton.
more and more opportunities."
Have you
Yeah.
ever watched the movie Rad while drinking Rad AF?
No, we've got the some of our friends
We
over
do.
at Uptown.
That was one of my favorite movies as a
Andy
kid.
and Ethan brought us the vinyl of the
soundtrack
of
of the
it.
movie
It's-
Rad. It's
yes.
Grant
framed.
is gonna fucking kill me
I
because
am.
he told me
'cause
I
it's
needed to
supposed
put it
be
up.
right there, right now.
Bro, there are. You know where the nails are, and you know where the drill is. We're all
we had
working.
it- we had
I
it in the
feel like
server
that should be
station
on
here.
a constant loop on your screen.
I think
Bro,
you're right.
we're
I think
working
you're
hard here.
absolutely right.
We're all
So
working.
should we do one of our mystery beers? I think
Let's
we should.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's have it.
So, if you guys have heard the show, we've got we got a drop when we do mystery beers, and it's Bree Burrows singing mystery
love
beers.
Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
but
can you not love Brie?
Right, Bree's awesome.
Bree's the
Bree's got such
best.
good vibes.
So
Got
Grant,
you-
I'm gonna let you be the guy.
All right.
We're gonna play a little game.
You can drop it down. So this is the thing: when you pull
Are
the
you
beer
putting
out,
that down, Grant?
you get to look
Here,
at
let
it.
me hold it.
You're gonna have to look at it. You describe what it is. Try not to look at the ABV because we play a game.
Put your finger. You want me to?
We play a game.
You want me to
Guess
look
the
at it?
I turned him
ABV.
down. He's good.
We play the game. Guess the ABV, and it's Price is Right rules. Closest to
So
the.
I could say 0.01.
Yeah,
0.01, Bob.
Well, we
Don't
had,
be looking at it, Grant.
I'm not looking for the ABV.
At Stockyards, he did do that.
There's an opener in there if you want. It was gifted or stolen from Pathlight. Thanks, Tanner.
Tanner's a good dude, man.
Love Tanner. Oh,
Isn't that dope?
dude, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is yeah. Beer trader scene. This is one of those that saves the cap.
Yeah,
so that,
if you're into that
a
thing.
cap
Or an
saver,
element.
Yeah.
it keeps it from
Look at
breaking.
that teamwork.
Yeah.
I'm good at. Never mind.
I used to save the Cantillon and Dre Fontaine caps with something similar to this.
A lot of people save the caps.
This is dope because you can tell it was made out of a barrel, a charred oak
Yeah, it
barrel.
looks like a stave, right?
And then he got his
several
Pathlight
ways to
logo
open
on
it.
it.
It's
Dude,
always fun to give it to somebody and see if
Tanner,
they know how to
man,
work it.
if you're listening,
Right. Well,
that's
'cause, you know,
cool as
there's-
hell,
there's
dude.
7 different ways to
Tanner,
open the
if
bottle.
you're listening,
Yeah.
you're going to probably have to provide a new bottle opener.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since
All
we
right,
had Tanner
so
on.
can we
Sorry,
at
bud.
least can we
And we didn't.
Yeah, tell us what it
brand
is.
name and style
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
3 Barrel Brewing Company, 7 Bs, unfiltered Kolsch style ale.
Okay, so you get the
So
pour.
So it's a
I'm gonna
Kolsch.
pour it, and I
And
did
I
not
have
see
no
an
idea where I
ABV
got
while I
that.
was looking at that.
I think this is like the second time
Yeah,
in a
where
row
do you
we've
guys
had
get the
this
mystery beers?
a lot
First
of
off, how
times.
did
Coming out of the
mystery beer
fridge, I get it.
start?
No, well,
one. Well, it was to
well,
convert me.
you know what it was when we first started the podcast. Nick wasn't that much into beer.
Yeah.
And so we started out. I had that bag, and then I would bring 3 beers, and they'd be in brown paper bags because
'Cause
we
we
kept it classy. And then it really, kind of got him into beers. Like when we first started, he didn't like sours, and then he had a sour from service.
and then
And then
And
Okay,
then
yes.
Courtney
And then he
came into
yes,
my
Courtney.
life.
Episode
Courtney's-
1, he
yes.
didn't like sours. Episode
Yeah.
2, he loved sours.
Yeah.
And then he immediately made a T-shirt that says he's a Courtney Service fanboy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Courtney Sour's got it going on.
Like, 'cause
Oh,
not
yeah.
only does she make amazing beer, but she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, their brewery is so cool.
Yeah.
Holly and I like to go there. She got a great trivia deal going on.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, their beers are. Grant has always been, like, pushing us to always have interesting looking beers. But when you go to, like, service, you'll get something that's green, that's red, that's pink, that's, like, beautiful beer, golden color, that's a rich ass stout.
Yeah.
I love what she's doing and
What
for
was
the
the
community.
what was
on
the
it.
style?
Kolsch.
Kolsch.
Wow.
Kolsch style
It's very
ale, it
Kolschy,
says.
but it's got almost some
It's-
salt and lime to it.
Yeah, I get a little smokiness
yeah,
on
some
the nose.
salinity maybe.
Yeah. It's tasty though. It
Yeah.
kind of woke my palate up a little bit. Where
Yeah, it is,
very bright. You know what I'm saying?
Very bright.
Very-
It's crisp.
very-
It's
Have you
dry.
been practicing your sensory?
It's got a
Well, that's what we do, man.
That yeast is, it looks, tastes
That's
bottle
why I haven't said
conditioned on it,
That's-
too.
yeah. Shout out to Nolan at Transparent because he loves us to take our
guy's cool
beers
as hell.
and do sensory things.
Oh,
all
that's
the-
great.
So we
Yeah.
will. This is the great thing about Nolan. He's like company credit card, bring beer, and hand them out to the employees, and everybody does sensory, and
Yeah.
we talk about it.
Sweet.
Because it's just it just helps you when you're explaining something to somebody
Absolutely.
who comes in,
yeah.
just education, and really that's what it is. Just like the
Absolutely.
guy who came in about the IPA.
Yeah.
He got educated that not all IPAs are equal.
Yeah, hoppy doesn't have to mean bitter.
Yeah, so. But that's pretty tasty.
All right, so we're guessing the ABV.
Yeah.
We should also note that we're horrible at this game.
Yeah,
It's our game, and we're no good
That
at
is-
it.
is there somebody keeping
There is
stats?
some
Like,
smoke
did you
to
have a
that.
fan? Like,
Yeah, there's a little smoke.
There's some smoke to
get
that,
some
for
good
real.
grain. It is also very highly carbonated.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
a,
I love that.
Which I don't mind. I like
our
that.
first
It's
like
very
brewer-
sparkly.
super bottle conditioned on it. It's like fluffy almost.
I had never even heard of that brewery, but that thing was in my refrigerator.
Okay.
But back to your point where the mystery beers come from, there's a thing called beer karma. There's rules we have. Rule number 1 in life, don't die.
Rule number 2.
Rule number 2, don't be a dick.
We like that rule.
So if you're a dick, you ruin your beer karma.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love to
Yep.
give people beer, and it always comes back. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying?
Nice.
I
If you
try
put
to
good
when
in
we
the world, good
when we-
beer will come back to
That's
you.
right.
When we do
All right, I believe
podcasts
it.
and we're doing somebody remotely, and they've never been to Kansas City, I just sent some beer to Florida, some beer to Kansas, and it's beer karma. So I know when I
Yeah.
send it, it's going to come back. So you know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
Beers just show up at the brewery, right?
I love
And
it.
You have
They
no
do.
fucking
They do.
idea.
And we
who
love that.
dropped it off.
Yeah, it's so neat. It's so neat to hear and see what shows
Well, 'cause
up. And
the beer community, they love. Like, they travel, they go to new breweries,
Yeah.
they go to places,
Yep.
and they want to bring it back. Like, hey,
Yep.
you guys have been giving me awesome beer. Here's what I picked up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So what do we think the ABV? I'm gonna go 5.2.
5.2. I'm going to go 4.8.
Okay. I like that though. It's pretty tasty.
There's a
Go
5.5. I'm
I'll
wrong.
go
I'm
5
high.
even.
I'm high.
5 even. Okay.
I'm too high.
Actual retail ABV.
Have you guys ever had a bottle that didn't say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Is that illegal? I feel like that's illegal.
help
Depends on
me
the state
out.
we
I mean,
found
we've
out.
had to go to Untapped to find
I'm
out.
really?
feeling,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think it
feeling the
depends on the
pressure.
Well, I can't read that shit.
I feel like federal laws.
Let's keep it real.
Because every state has
You're
bad,
right.
archaic alcohol laws.
All right, we're going Untapped, folks.
Is it not on there? I'm not even sure where that brewery
I
is.
feel like we found it on this. We've had this
All
one
right,
before.
Joe, where do
We
they say
have?
they brew
I'm
that
pretty
up?
sure
I
we
do not
have.
remember that, sir.
Or there's one sitting in my fridge. I don't know.
Nice. Kolsch style.
You like that?
Yeah,
you
it
know,
doesn't- I thought you had to
that you
have
knew it was going to be
ABV on
good.
these.
Like you had full
Whatever.
face expression
I
there.
can feel it.
Made with.
I mean, that was
Dude,
your
if
O
I had
face.
known there was clover honey in here, maybe I would have put it up a little
Oh,
higher.
there's honey in there?
yeah.
I bet it's around like 5.7, 5.8,
there you go.
or 6.
What's it called?
6.2.
Let's see that. Yeah,
They
let's
put
see that
honey,
label.
so it's Kolsch style, brewed in Colorado. 90
From-
pounds of
from
high
whom?
altitude
What's the
clover
brewery?
honey.
What's the name of it?
It's from the 3 Barrel Brewing. 7 Bs with a Z, which I love.
You know, I guess we could assume it had honey in it because there's bees
you know
on
what?
there.
You know what I'm thinking? I think this might have been my brother's last
No,
Beer Karma haul.
Yeah, this is
From
Is
fun.
this
Colorado.
the Espen Kolsch?
This is 7 Bs. Bs with a Z, Grant?
Bees with a Z?
7.
This is good content.
This is great content.
Speaking of some of the mystery beers that we brought, we definitely had a lady from Ohio come through, and she was a super beer lover, and she went almost to every brewery around her. And what is it? What
He's
is
la- he's- he's smiling.
what's
I'm
ABV?
smiling. I'm excited.
What'd you say?
I'm excited for
Is
my
it
guy
like
here.
Is it like 7%?
What'd you say?
5.2.
You said 5.2. It's 5.2, baby.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I never fucking
Yeah,
win.
nice. Oh, yeah. Here's to you.
You know what
Yeah.
happens? I get the rest of the beer.
That's what you get.
This beer is good too. I like it's got a nice little hop bitterness too.
I kind of like the honey.
The honey's good.
There's
You can
something
get it.
about it at the end that
Yeah,
just
you
kind of
can get
smooths
it.
it out. Ooh, I was a little worried about that pour.
Boy,
at
look at that
first.
cookie. Look at that cookie on top.
It's like super effervescent.
Looks
It's
good.
really fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about this building. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is a fucking crazy ass building. When I came in years ago, it was a shit show in here.
There was nothing in here.
It was like
Yeah,
it was like
construction
it
can
was
be a
like it
beast.
was like even before that, it was like dirt floors out here.
Sure.
Yeah.
How'd you guys find?
What was this?
Yeah, what was it? How'd you guys find it?
So the building was built. We're actually in an alleyway. There's 2 buildings on the sides of us. Building's about like 30 feet wide or 40 feet wide. I don't know, something like that. It's wide, not huge, just right. And so we walked in. One building was built in 1896. The other was built in late 1890s. So we don't know the exact
Wow.
date. And then they covered the area up in like the 20s. And it used to be from like this family owned it from the 30s. Ahoy, Jax. Yeah, Jackie, do you want to come introduce yourself on here? So Jackie's our new bar manager here at City Barrel.
Hello, everyone.
Ahoy.
Get it up there.
All the way up here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
right
you go.
there.
Like this? This
Yeah.
is good.
Jackie likes to try beers too. So
Too.
Yeah,
I dabble
Jackie
in
tried
beer.
his
Give me
Kolsch.
some of that.
UK
I
trying
got a little
beer.
Kolsch left
I
in
am
there.
okay trying
Sweet.
a beer.
So this is a Kolsch. It's from Colorado, and it's pretty effervescent. They make
got
it
some
with
honey in it.
Brewed with honey.
there's some honey in there, but kind of a fun beer. Just to try. This is the burden of owning a brewery. Is you you get a little. I get a little like smoke and like tartness on the nose.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's tasty.
Jackie is fantastic. We love having her here. She is a whiz with flavors and aromas. Oh, no.
Straight garbage. So there's some things, this is not one. Candidate microphone, and now I'm
It says
here all the time.
she walks
Right.
Never
away.
not here good.
I could never say bad things about Jax. But she's taken over our cocktail program and done a really great job. In addition to helping like educate the team.
What do you think?
That's very nice.
Yeah, it's a nice beer.
Yeah, it's a fun
for
beer.
How much is going on? It finishes like super crispy.
Yeah.
5.2. Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
nice little bitterness on it.
Yeah.
That's
That's a well done beer.
It's a well
But
done.
the
I agree.
building was here. We were gonna originally go across the street from where Rock Hill Grill is located. It was actually such a kick-ass building. It was an old Budweiser ice house. So at the time, Maine had about 12 breweries, I think, up and down Main Street. Pete Doolin did a whole book on Kansas City beer on
Yeah.
it.
Shout out to Pete.
But there's a Schlitz building, which is a castle-looking building off 20th and
Grand.
Was it Grand, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it's one this way from Grand.
And then the building we're going to is now like owned by Blue Cross Blue Shield. But this building that we were going to go into was like perfect. It was awesome. We were like, oh, we had Budweiser dreams or whatever, and like,
Yeah.
and so the lease fell through very fast
Yeah.
on that. And so
The landlord wasn't looking for a heavy manufacturing. He was looking for somebody to come in and do like cubicle style office space, something light,
Boo.
something easy.
additionally, he was looking for people significantly better funded than what we were.
Yes, indeed. That is
There's
There
a
it
really
is.
nice way of putting it.
He,
Don't feel you need to stand there with
I
the
know.
Jackie,
microphone.
have
You're
you,
good.
Thank you.
Jackie, have you ever
Yeah.
had this beer?
I've never tried the
Okay, this
Rowdy
beer's
before.
it's called
Yeah.
Rad AF. It's
Yeah.
a hazy IPA, double dry
It's a
hops.
brand new brewery in town called City Barrel.
So yeah, he was looking for something else that we weren't able to give on it. And
Thanks, Jackie.
thanks, Jax.
If it's here,
Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
I'll drink more.
When in Rome. So we found out we were going to lose our lease. Anyways, Grant and James independently were looking for new buildings around here. We looked over by what's now Oak and Steel. We looked over
Yeah.
by what's now Rochester.
We knew we wanted to be in the crossroads. We believed that this area was really up and coming.
Right.
It's an entertainment district. We thought that was super important for us to have, like, just kind of the presence in the city that we wanted to have.
So I was like down here and I rode my bike down unbeknownst to these guys, and it was fun because I ended up like they were driving around and I was looking around on my bike, just kind of like I was a little drunk, but it was fine. And,
We've heard this bike story before.
Yeah.
I left my bike.
Wait, is this a
and
different
walked
bike?
home.
yeah, this is a different bike. So anyways, I came down here and then ended up finding Grant and James just like running all around looking for properties just like I was.
Yeah, we were peeking in windows.
And so James was like, hey, I think I found something over here. And I was like, hey, I think I found something over here. Well, we fell in love with the building. There's this barrel deck that's above. And, we came on down to the area we're at, which is in the East Crossroads. There were already, Border was here, which is now where Red Sash is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Borders moved, which they have a great location.
Yep.
Double Shift was here.
Torn.
Label. And Casual, I don't think was, Casual had maybe
They might have been
opened.
open by then.
Maybe
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 months they've been
Yeah.
open. And so we went over and kind of looked at this building and I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's a little further away from the beer scene. Honestly, Oak is like really where like the heart of the East Crossroads kind of starts.
Yeah.
And even we really wanted to be a little further kind of central to the city near Maine because I believe the streetcar was going in during that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But this building came up and we fell in love with all the brick and it felt like do you remember? It felt like an old wine cave, like when we came in here.
Yeah, I mean, the minute we walked in, all three of us started going like, "Oh, we put the bar over here, with tables go over here." You just feel
No,
it, right?
but
Like
yeah.
we
You
felt it.
You saw the
We-
layout.
No,
We
the,
saw
the,
it.
the first time I walked in
Immediately.
here, I was like, this is fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then
You're like, oh, we could do something
then
with
the
this.
barrel balcony, I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's gonna be great.
And the landlord had built that hoping to attract he said distillery. And then, but he was like brewery, distillery, winery. Don't care. He wanted a.
Are you going
an
to sell
anchor
alcohol?
tenant.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. and it worked. I mean, it made us take a look at the building and the space, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the building is super cool. And then, so another fun fact on this building is, one, we wanted a little more retail frontage than where we've got, but you just take what you can do, especially as a brewery. We were like, while the bank really believed in us, we took out a massive bank loan, and it was still not enough. I mean, massive for us. I mean, other people would just like look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, this is it's piddly." But for us, it was a huge commitment. I mean, our houses and our families are on the line.
Yeah, there we are. Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
No college for you.
So we really, we wanted a little better spot, but this is what we could do. And additionally, the whole point of a brewery is to have like your manufacturing on site, and so. The space where we have actually the brewery, the concrete is almost 3 or 4 feet thick.
Yeah.
It's an old
I'm
Pendergast
sure, yeah.
poured foundation.
Yeah.
And we got shit from our contractor because they were like, we're saw cutting this mofo.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare to do, but the tanks are. I mean, you could build
You
a building
could
on
put
top of
all
our
the weight in
brewery.
the world. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
No, it's a
Okay,
it's a
real
great
quick,
space.
we got a mystery beer.
Got another mystery beer.
So this
bonus
is-
mystery beer.
Went and hung out with the Four Hands guys over just a couple days ago, and this is a thiolized Incarnation IPA.
Now explain thiolized.
So thiolized. Well, Grant, you want to talk about thiolized?
Yeah, okay,
Grant, I don't know why I was like, oh fuck, thank God Grant's here.
You squeeze it with your thighs.
Squeeze it with your thiolized
That's
thighs.
right. Okay, so there's some. you guys have been hearing ever since hazy IPAs started to become a thing in 2015 and beyond. They're talking about how some yeast strains can't have the ability to make beer taste more juicy than other yeast strains, right? And so the yeast labs, and pretty sure that's Omega Labs out of Chicago, they have been working on this. Like, their scientists are getting into, well, why is that real? Answer is yes. And then why does it happen? And can we select, yeasties that do that thing better than others?
Yeah.
And so they did come out recently with one and now a second thiolized yeast that, and all you really need to know is that it takes the oils inside hops and it breaks them apart in ways that make it taste like fruity and juicy flavors. Now we could get into it's myrcenes, it's terpenes.
Let's not get into
there's some marijuana crossover.
I love me some terpenes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Geranials and what have you. But so there's the science is that some yeast can cleave that bond of the hop glycoside and make it taste like something new that it didn't before.
I just had a beer recently. It was one of those yeasts, and people were like, "Is there fruit in there?" I'm like, "No." It's just it was a blonde.
Sweet.
But
really cool.
But it used an IPA yeast, and it was popping orange all day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, it's not from the hops; it's from the
Love
yeast.
that.
So what's the science there? What is happening?
No, you're really going down the rabbit hole there.
All right, so there's a
I'm gonna go take a nap. There are nerds out there that want to know this.
All right, so
there's no nerds listening to this podcast.
There is
That's not true.
There's a compound inside the hop. It's been a while since I've had to explain this. Glycosides are the sugar compounds that are inside the hop lupulin oil, right? And when that breaks, when you have a thiolized yeast that can break that apart, that can cleave that bond, it'll break it into its four base parts, which is geranials, terpenes. And there are two others that I'm not going to be able to come up with on the spot.
That right there is worth asking the question just to watch him struggle.
I'm just at half-mast only.
But the takeaway is that some of those flavor compounds could not be tasted if it weren't for that yeast being able to break that bond. And then there's another piece about these hazies that do that thing, and that's that, does the haziness matter? It absolutely does. We like to go to the Craft Brewers Convention every year because we gain so much brewers knowledge.
Yeah.
And there are always studies that are presented there at that thing. And one thing that we found was that the haziness is usually
Oh, he's struggling, folks.
yeah, he is. It's
That's a couple beers in. That's what's going on.
it's wheat proteins called prolamines.
It's super duper important.
And think about prolamines. These are wheat proteins that would not be in a clear beer, that are in your hazy IPAs, right? And think about it like a chip. Like, let's say you're at a Super Bowl party. You got dips.
Oh, yeah.
And you got chips.
Yeah.
All right. So these wheat proteins are chips that are going to be a vessel for you to scoop up that dip.
People need to think about their chip to dip ratio.
Exactly.
And the thickness of their chip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you did not have a chip,
think about that.
If you didn't have a chip, you couldn't eat that dip.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exactly what's happening
These are
inside this
things to think
beer.
about, Nigel.
Heard, Chef.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So following up on your nerdiness there, because that was fun. I love that we have video so that people can see.
Could you
his
see
face.
my face?
Oh, his
Grant
face.
was like, it's been
But he
forever.
was excited about not knowing the answer to some of those.
I mean, here we are.
You're digging deep into the memory banks.
Grant knows a lot
Thanks.
about
Well,
this
so
stuff,
like
which
you
is
said
great.
though, you said earlier that when you started it was because you were playing around with sours and you wanted to make.
Yep,
different.
I was
Are you
going
still-
deep down that rabbit
Are you
hole.
still in that world?
I gotta
In that
tell
zone?
you, tastes do change, and the general public's taste has kind of gone away from sours, and so as we kind of slowed that production a little bit, my tastes have kind of gone away. You know what I'm really excited about these days is the lagers.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the pilsners
Yeah,
and
lagers,
lagers
yeah.
I feel
are
like a
just
lot of people
doing
are
it
finally
for
getting
me.
that way.
Yeah.
whereas
The year of
Yeah.
the year of lager and summer of lager is finally starting to
upon
come
us.
through.
I don't
Yeah.
think it went anywhere. I just think there's been so many other things out there
Yeah.
that people get excited about.
Right.
But you always come back to that thing. Like we talk about when we go on the road or we go to a brewery. Let me get your Kolsch. Let me get your pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Can
get
you
your
make a
lager.
good, crisp, clean
let me
beer?
see.
Right. Right.
And there's breweries around town who do certain things, and you're like, why is everybody not here. I'll
Yeah.
shout out. Look, my dude, and you talk about sours. Brian at Grains and Taps.
Yeah.
I used to go to his house 10 years ago, and he was brewing sours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no other homebrewer was
but 10
except
years
you
ago?
apparently.
Yeah.
I don't think I was
you.
quite 10 years ago. I mean,
Okay,
probably
maybe
6 or 8.
You know what? I would say when I moved to Lee Summit, I'd say 2012.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
And
Yeah, good on him.
he was the only motherfucker doing sours. I'm like, bro, you could sell these, and sours weren't even a thing yet. Crane wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know what the fuck he was
First
brewing.
sour I
Yeah.
had was,
They were
was
just
at
tasty.
the original grains.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Before they were brewing.
Nice.
So I think
And
it's,
that's
you know,
actually that was the one I didn't like. But I didn't know what I was drinking either.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair,
you gotta
That's-
you
to
have
be
to be
fair.
you have
fair,
to be educated.
somebody just gave
You
it
do.
to me, and I didn't know what I was drinking, and I'm like, well, that doesn't taste like beer.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
if you're
right.
just like,
Yeah.
if you're used to something else and you're trying things,
Oh, and it's so
you have
exciting.
to build
And
to
I
it.
do still get really, really jazzed on like a good one or a rare
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
What happened to like the tart, super tart?
well,
sours?
that's what kind of
That's
started
what I
to turn me
miss.
off on it was when it goes so sour that's all.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like now they're super sweet. Like
But
that's the
you
trend
know,
now.
I will say this. You know, shout out to Grains and Taps because they keep doing those things.
Yeah.
And they're super undercover where people are like, "Oh, where's that? How long they been in business?" Well, they've been around. They've been a homebrew supply. They just celebrated 10 years. They were a homebrew
Yeah, that's
supply store.
incredible.
Granted, they've been doing their own beers. I remember, 'cause, you know, shout out. I love the beer station. That was one of my favorite things ever.
100%.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I'm
love,
saying?
love John Couture.
yeah,
that guy
John
did.
Couture.
That
But
guy
the-
did so much for the beer
My
industry here.
Sundays were going to beer station, and then Grains moved from where Fringe is now
Yep.
across
Oh,
the tracks,
yeah.
and they had, and all of a
16 when
sudden
they
they had
started brewing?
24
Yeah.
taps. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is beer station at Lee Summit.
Yeah.
I mean, and so when they flipped to doing their own beers, a lot of people got pissed off.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
he was curating such a nice list.
Yeah.
It was like beer station at Lee Summit. It
Yeah.
really was. I mean, to the point where I was like, well, I would still go to beer station. I'm like, well, I could do both on a Sunday.
Yeah, you're like-
I'll start at beer station, work my way
There you
back.
go.
I like the way you
You
think.
know what I'm saying?
That's a good plan.
And so when they started doing their own beers, a lot of people were like, oh my God, no. But now, because they've got 24 of their own, and they have a wide range of styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's probably one of the most underrated breweries in Kansas City, easily.
I've had an amazing time every time we've gone there.
Yeah,
Shit,
me too.
Eddie at Fringe, and in fact, shit, Nigel, you were there, I think, that night.
Probably.
Drunkenly, hazily, I remember seeing you. And
No, Hazley. We're going to Hazley.
Hazily.
one of those nights when, like, you go to visit Fringe and, like, you're, like, 6 fireballs deep, and then
Oh, yeah.
Eddie's
Well,
like,
that was your
"Hey, you
first
want to
problem.
you want to go you want to go see this place? You want to go this?"
Eddie's
let's
a
just
shop
walk away.
bandit.
When Eddie starts breaking out the fireball,
Yeah, he's
it's
a
a
shop
different
bandit.
night.
Fuck
He
that.
he holds that bucket up high and wants
yeah,
you to
yeah,
reach
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
He's
Then-
always a good time.
Then he's gonna try to get you to bet on a parlor
Yeah.
game.
So
No
what do we-
shit, fuck
Yeah.
that dude.
What do we think about this stylized?
Oh, so
yeah.
all right.
Oh, where'd it go?
So it's hiding around the corner.
Where to go? Oh, are we gonna guess the ABV?
It's,
Yeah, we might as
I
well.
want to put the can up on the screen.
It's an IPA.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So Incarnation, Love Four Hands.
The artwork is dope.
Oh,
as
of course, and
Incarnations do.
that's typically a all mosaic beer.
It's an India Pale Ale.
okay.
So I don't know shit about
Nice.
this beer.
You know what?
The burp game is on
That
today,
was nice,
son.
baby.
You're not hitting it often, but it's on point.
All right.
Who's going first?
All right, the
I'm
Have
gonna
you
go-
tried it? Have you tried it yet?
I've been
Jeremy
drinking
Danner.
it, so I'm gonna say.
Ooh, it's light.
It does not feel
Yeah.
like it's a heavy.
I think it's.
The nose is great though.
It smells heavier.
yeah. Than
Ooh, it's like. I get a lot of like melon on the nose. What do you get, Grant?
Oh yeah,
Like honeydewish.
yeah.
it's,
I'd go.
it's super fruity.
It's their water profile or something.
I'd
I
go.
can't
I'd
tell.
go melon with
It's
you.
real.
But,
Yeah.
It like. It reminds me
a
of
little
like.
something rich at the end.
well, it's got.
Do you know
that
what it
candy
tastes like when
hop
you
thing
bite
going.
into like a watermelon at the very end? Like a watermelon rind finish for me is what
Yeah,
it does
yeah.
on that.
And it lingers.
It's clean too.
Yeah.
This is a good freaking beer.
yeah.
Yeah.
It just-
I'm gonna,
it
I'm gonna
smells-
say. I'm gonna
smells
say.
different.
You know. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go 6-1.
Okay, I'll go 6-8.
Wow.
it's
Wow. Okay.
Stylized Incarnation, I think, is normally a big beer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is
think it's
it?
an IPA. I
Oh,
think it's.
You didn't,
I was,
you
I
didn't
was
mention that in
leaning
your
more.
rant.
This drinks. I would say
little
this drinks.
gamesmanship.
Oh, this drinks super light. I would say it's drinking at like a 5.5, but it has more flavor.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 6'4".
Okay.
They're following the Red AF.
Oh, yeah,
where'd
Red
you
AF
go?
is
I'm going to go
6.4.
low. I think 5.5.
And you went
I said 6.8.
actual retail ABV.
Our actual retail ABV.
7%.
7%,
Whoa!
baby.
Bitch, this drink's great.
That does not
Nice.
feel.
That
No,
is
it's
super
that-
undercover.
So that's that
Yeah.
dialyzed,
But
man.
you get a little, and you're right. This I wouldn't call it thin, but it's
That's not
You
thin.
get that
it's
malt.
no,
Can
but
you smell the
it's-
malt?
So it's
There-
got body. It's got body.
There's too much on the end when you're done drinking it. It
Sorry, I
still
missed
kind
that.
of coats your mouth.
Yeah, it's got body.
You know what I'm saying?
What you're
Yeah.
saying is if you hold it between your thighs,
It's
kinda
stylized.
mellows it
Thigh-
out.
It's stylized.
It mellows it out a little bit. So you don't know.
This
Yeah.
is, this is
Would it be weird if
Stylized.
you guys did one of those and on the can had thighs?
I totally want to see you guys do that now.
Yeah.
Stylized.
like,
But you have to spell it like
Was
that.
there
some
Jane
boys'
James
thighs.
Fonda
It's
put two
thigh,
cans
right.
together?
Oh, there you go.
Summers.
Oh, Suzanne Summers. That's who it was. Yeah.
The Thigh Master.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dialyzed
Oh, my
master.
God.
I challenge you
man,
now
I forgot about
to
that.
make Thigh Master.
Thigh Master. Thigh. Th. Oh, and then you get to spell it correct.
Yes.
Thio.
The
Thigh.
Thiolized Master.
Thigh Master.
So
Yeah.
that's a great beer for me.
Yeah, good pun.
So when you guys got the building and
Yeah.
to what it is now, what was the process like? Because I remember when I came here,
Yeah.
and process to starting construction to getting it open. Let's start with you.
The longest. So my piece is always getting us financing.
But not even just the financing, just the process of what you were feeling and thinking as this was happening.
Well, when we came into this building, I think we were close to getting funded on stuff. We had written the most intensive business plan ever that,
Yeah, we spent
that our
months
bank
on that.
fully shit the bed on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so we're not with them anymore, but I'm not going to shit talk them. But we needed a space, and we were like, when we walked in, it felt like the heavens opened up. And there was so much potential in this space. I mean, like nothing was in here. We've got this beautiful ductwork that runs the whole way. We have this kitchen that was non-existing here. It was
Yeah.
just, I mean,
It was a space.
there were dead spiders and animals I'd never seen
How long
before.
had it been not used
It
before
had
you
been
guys got
vacant
here?
since
90s?
2008.
Or was it 08?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the last, and it was the most recent use was used by either Truman or I think it was Truman Med, and this was like their admin offices. So there were drywall. There wasn't
Boo,
drywall
yeah.
here, but where our cooler is, there were offices there.
Yeah.
and it was a shithole. I mean, like water pooling on the ground. It kind of looks like one of those scenes where you're just like, oh, we should just turn around and leave. But instead we
But you had
this,
the vision.
well,
Yeah,
we
we-
had this
we
hunger
saw it,
that
we
we really
felt it.
wanted to come into, and Grant was like,
Yeah.
and we looked at Grant and we were like, Grant, can you brew in here? And he was like, I can brew anywhere, baby.
Yeah,
he was like,
a,
he's like,
good, a good workman never
Yes,
blames
sir.
his tools.
Right, exactly.
So, and we, I didn't think we had our equipment at that point in time. No.
No, we didn't.
So from that point, we were like, so then we were like kind of down. We were down before that. And when you're opening a business or anything, you go up and fucking down. The highs are like the craziest, coolest high, and your lows are the worst, gut-wrenching, like killing lows. And which is also a great metaphor for the service industry also.
Yeah.
So
Heard.
No, you know you're going to get into some bullshit.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's so stressful. And we did, to really granular answer your question, we had a general contractor and worked with an architect.
Yeah.
Well, loosely worked with an architect, mostly a mechanical, electrical.
Yeah, James
and
did a
plumbing
lot of
engineer.
the. James took the whole GC stuff on this building, and we just
but
kept it simple.
When we were in build
What
out,
is he like a engineer or some shit?
James?
Yeah.
No, James
No,
just fucking
just
He just knows how to do
we're
shit?
just
James is
three
so-
guys just show
Just
up every
three
day
guys.
and try new shit. We
The
just
way-
try to put
the way
everything-
this brewery was
it's a
promised-
puzzle. You got to create the pieces
Yeah.
and then put them together.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah,
So,
and the way
problem
we were
solvers.
going to set
Yeah,
up, Grant
you
was
got
going to
it.
be brewing. I was just going to be a silent partner, not doing anything,
Yeah.
hanging out,
Drinking
chilling,
beer,
Yeah.
drinking rat
you know,
ale.
Drinking Grant's
you know,
beer.
I got my fucking
You're
chair at
hanging
the
out
end.
and drinking beer right now.
Yeah, a little
Mofo.
different. And then James is going to be doing all the marketing. And then, like, when you're in business, if you don't adapt to what's
Yeah.
happening, then
Yeah.
you just do it. So during that time, Grant was like, you know what? I think we can send, this whole brewery was set up so that we would just sell over our own counter. But
Yeah.
at the time, Grant and James had great contacts. They were both in sales for a long time. And like, man, I don't know if you've met Grant, but he's like the world's nicest human you'll ever meet. And I love you. Grant was like, I'm just gonna
very often on here.
he's like, I'm just gonna reach out to some friends and see if they want some of our beers. And so,
Oh, absolutely.
and James was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And James was like, hey, fuck, we're COVID hit. I'm just gonna start
we had to
taking
go
over
everything into cans.
Yeah, yeah,
Luckily
yeah.
for us, Torn Label had told us if you ever want to put a beer in a can, get the canning line up front.
Well, we were just talking about
And-
that last podcast. The pandemic taught everybody how to can.
Gotta
whether,
can it.
whether you had a machine or you were doing one at a time on an October. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You were canning.
Yeah, you were
absolutely.
canning. I mean, I
Yeah.
spent, when I was working in wind shift, all you could do was to-goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we canned fucking 16-ounce cans
Yeah.
one at a fucking time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you do what you can.
We were labeling, so we're on a 15-barrel brew system,
Yeah.
and we were one at a time in the labels.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Oh, good lord.
5,000. You get about
Hey,
5,000
hey,
cans.
Because carpal tunnel.
About an hour in, you're like, I'd like to chop my fingers
Yeah.
off.
Oh, yeah.
It was 8-hour shifts of
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
of just labeling.
Yeah.
We were bringing
cans.
people in if we could.
We had these. We
Yeah.
borrowed the first one from KC Wineworks.
Yeah.
and then
Didn't we end up buying one of our, or did we sell
we gave
our?
that back. Then we got a single unit.
Oh
a
yeah,
single
the
one.
Primera
and then
labeler.
the Primera. And then
What
we
was that
eventually-
conversation to your wives? Like, honey, I'm going to need you to come help us out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
and it's just like, and these are times when it's like we couldn't afford. I lost the two-wheeler once, and delivering beer.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know where I left it, and we had a full-on 3-owner discussion as to whether or not we could spend the $80 to buy another one.
That was one of
And
those
that was
lows.
the time when we were
Yeah.
single
Yeah,
label
yeah,
can,
yeah.
single can labeling.
I was like, Grant, guess what?
Yeah.
You got 2
Yeah,
legs.
that was
And
scary.
Grant was like, F off.
Yeah.
Which rightfully so. But we got
Right.
through. We got through the
We got
wheeler,
through
and
it.
then the next thing was like, hey, the next argument that we had was over our labeler, which there's a
Yep.
great company in Overland Park
Yeah.
that does label stuff.
Yep.
And that cost a little more. And then
Now we've
That
got
was
one
not
that does
$80.
No,
that
we've
was
got
not-
one that's many,
that was a
it's
full, well,
Yeah.
many times
and
that.
to the deal, James actually put money in,
Yeah.
because we didn't have money to afford this labeler, and James
Right.
was like, we were just arguing. James was like, I'm the motherfucker that's doing this, so he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm putting this money in. You guys are paying me back,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and we did,
Yeah.
slowly but surely, and.
Yep, the van.
It's the van,
You know?
van,
Yep.
or
I
a
know
van
the
that's
van.
held together with
yeah,
a
I've seen that. So the decision to go 15 barrel
Yeah.
was that a decision from the onset?
We
Because let's
were
keep it real.
thinking-
Think about Kansas City.
Sure.
And we've talked to people all around the world.
Yeah.
And what comes to mind is Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So Oklahoma City, you couldn't have a tap room. All you could do is distribute.
Yep.
So everybody had.
Minimum of 15. Usually
They were
30.
generally 30s.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you guys are an anomaly here in Kansas City because not many people. I'm guessing KC Beer has something like that or whatever.
KC Beer's in a 30 barrel.
Okay.
Are they
system.
30 barrel or are they
It
15s?
might be a 20.
But
It's
most
in
they
the-
brew a
but
lot.
think about it, most breweries around
Yeah.
here are smaller.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision to say we're going to go 15 barrel?
That's a good question. We
He's like, I
got an answer.
I'll wait for
all
this
right,
answer.
let's hear it, Joe.
So James had been silently lurking on these used equipment brewery websites forever, and he was just like, the balance between us getting a 7-barrel, a 5-barrel, a 3-barrel, 10-barrel system, he was like, let's just go 15. It's big enough for what we need. He's like, us going 30, it's too much for us at the time, especially when you're selling over your own counter. I mean, that was our whole business model, was selling over our own counter.
Yeah.
And he found this great system, and the brewing community is so effing cool. Travis
You
from
could have
Torn,
said fucking.
yeah, no, so I
Fucking
can't
cool.
Fucking
thank
cool.
Travis over at Torn Label enough for all the work he did, and Micah and Greg over at Stockyards Brewing,
Yeah, they're good.
especially when we were helping out. And then, well, shit, I mean, we hung out in the basement before Diametric was even a thing.
Yeah, they
you
were
know,
at
you know,
Mac's
people-
house?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
At Mac's house.
before New
Yeah, they
Axiom
were-
was even a
yes.
thing.
They were doing a kind
Yes.
of a late night brew sesh, and
He had
had us
a
over to
dope ass
visit.
system in his basement.
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah.
And so the brewing community was amazing. And so James found this system. It was in Tampa, and James and Travis went. went down to Tampa, it was a little tough explaining, hey, what are these cigar bar purchases? And why are you guys trying out all these expensive scotches?
Yeah.
Is that required to buy a brew system? Well, if your friend is coming down and helping you out on his own time,
you gotta take care of him.
take care of people.
Yeah.
And Travis and the whole team at Torn Labels has been nothing but amazing support, and they're doing amazing. And Michael's brewing some holy shit great beers over there right now too. And so we are extremely fortunate, but I guarantee we would not be here. Yeah, the building's great, everything's here, but nothing is by luck. It's all because of the support of the community.
Absolutely.
And I get very emotional
100%.
thinking about it, and we're super grateful for everything that's happened to us, honestly.
Well, Central Standard was a part of that same story because we were kicking around 7 to 10 barrels, and we went down and talked to them, and they were in a 10-barrel
I
system.
think I might
and they
have
thought,
a Central Standard beer here.
They urged us
I
to
do.
go 15. They said, you're downtown in Kansas. They're downtown Wichita.
Yeah, I've been
and they're
there.
like,
Yeah,
the
great brewery.
population size increase from Wichita to Kansas City. They said they're in a 10, wishing they were in a bigger system.
Yeah.
They said just go 15 and don't look back.
Yeah.
And
You'll grow into it.
You'll grow into, and we did have to. Our first year or two, we did have to grow into it.
And what's funny about that, and we talk about this every time. There's a bunch of guys who've come out of ZZ Hops and who own breweries.
Oh yeah.
And everybody we've talked to, we always laugh. You're out of space, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, how many?
Look, shout out to Woody and the boys from Vine Street.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can't grow out of that space. You have to do something offside.
That space is amazing,
It's
but they
dope.
can't do any more.
But you talk about
Doing everything
shoving
you can with
something
it.
into a goddamn corner.
Right.
It's beautiful space. Kemet, Elliot, Woody, they've done such a great job over there.
But I mean, think about Wind Shift, think about Iron Kettle, right?
Well, we think
that are brewing in shoeboxes.
a good example is Grains and Taps. They moved the brewing operation to that new spot, and they're you guys have probably the biggest fucking cooler in the city. And
that was compliments of Central Standard, or their advice.
But
They
smart
also told
though,
us build the biggest cooler you can.
Yeah,
is what they told us.
absolutely.
We did.
So-
who do we know that says
just
they
like
haven't
you just
filled up
said,
since
it's
they
still
built
not
it?
big enough.
And Grains immediately they built that space out, and you get this new. They got a 7-barrel system, and you got all these fermenters. They're out of space.
Yeah.
The coolers, with these bright tanks, they're fucked already.
And cheers to the
good problem
Kansas
to have.
City brew, the brewery community and craft beer lovers too. I mean, that's what motivates Grant, me, James, is just like producing fun beers, because I like to drink fun beers, and like I hope other people like to experience that too. I mean, so cheers to the KC craft consumers out there.
What are we doing here?
So this is Central Standard beer. I have to abstain because I did see the ABV.
That's okay. You abstain.
So it's called.
He votes present.
So Nigel, just what you were talking about, we Chef Ben, our executive chef here, and then he took Aaron, who's our lead cook back there, and our then bar manager, who Aaron is now moving on to Seattle. But they all went down to the Benny Keith convention down in Oklahoma City, which was super cool. But of course, we brought fucking Ben loaded up his car with maybe 12 cases of beer, and they sorry, Grant. If you're missing some of that,
Breaking news, Grant.
Oh, no,
So
my inventory's going to be screwed.
they went and visited a bunch of different breweries, and of course, everybody is so welcoming. We gave beers with no expectation of receiving anything, but of course, we go to Central Standard and they just freaking load us up with a bunch of cool ass beers.
Those guys.
And so this is actually from their trip. This is Red Cicada. It's a Goza.
Oh yeah.
Hibiscus, ginger, and lime.
Yeah, I like that.
So I don't know
that
if
a
you
lot.
guys have had this beer, but they're Central Standard. If you haven't, Wichita is a great brew town. By the way, they've been
Super undercover, bro.
no shit.
Yeah.
Super undercover.
Yeah.
All their beers are everything
Oh,
down
I
there.
like that.
The breweries
Yeah.
are so good. So you said you were getting into sours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cheers. So
He's been sour guys for 3 years now.
Corey
these
Service
guys-
fanboy, hello.
I specifically remember we went down and visited the Central Standard guys and we were so adorable. We brought this keg. Down there.
I don't have ever heard anybody say that on this show.
And they
We are
probably
so adorable.
They probably
adorable.
choked down whatever we were bringing them, and it was. I mean, it was good.
was
It's
fine.
nothing like what we're producing now.
I mean,
but
they probably won a GAB, their first GABF medal right around that time.
yeah, and they were just
First of many.
the greatest thing is they were so complimentary, helpful, supportive, and they continue to be that same way
Yep.
in
And
everything that
And
we do.
the great thing about that, when is that not the case?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
We've had it
you
one
know,
time.
What? Yeah. I mean, even when I go down there, they don't know me from a can of paint, but everybody's
Yeah.
super cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite undercover beer cities is Oklahoma City, man.
Oklahoma City's a
Oh,
great
my
beer
Oh,
town.
man, I got to get down
I
there.
tell people,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's 9 breweries downtown Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's
and
cool
they're
as hell.
all super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can get down there, bro, and everybody's accommodating.
Yeah.
You know, but we go a lot of places, and we have never come across. There's only one place I've ever been where I had like bad service.
Yeah.
And it wasn't their fault; it was the dude's fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whatever.
Where's your best brewery experience so far?
Ooh.
My
man, that's
best.
tough.
This can be
Ooh.
independent of the podcast, obviously.
Best brewery experience.
or where, what's memorable? How about that? Doesn't even have
You
to
know
be.
what? I would
Nothing
just-
has to be the
I would
best.
I would just shout out to God, what's the one in Oklahoma City?
Artisan?
Huh?
Artisan?
No,
Stormcloud's cool. Is it Stormcloud or is
It's
that
the
Tulsa?
first native-owned brewery.
Oh, Skydance.
Skydance in Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
Oh,
he took
cool.
care of
It's
you.
literally 2 blocks from over, in 2 blocks from Prairie OKC, which is
Yeah.
different
Oh.
than regular Prairie.
Okay.
Totally
okay.
different.
Yeah.
They're both super dope, but Skydance, super dope tap room. Again, it's the first native-owned brewery
Sweet.
in Oklahoma City.
He's got a great story.
Yeah, I mean, he literally,
Great story.
the first brew he did, his dad was a home brewer, and the first beer he did, his dad had passed away, and he found the recipe in a fucking book and brewed it.
And he made a beer for his dad.
Man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
bro.
So,
It was-
yeah.
I like
Freaking
it was,
chills, mate.
it was one of those he was
Dad
on, and I'm just
stuff.
like,
You know, and Nick vibed with that story because you know
Yeah.
you and your dad, you know, you
Yeah.
kind of
My dad died young.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, if you get a chance, he kills. He's an IPA guy.
Sweet.
Love that.
We like
he
those.
does all different styles, but he does some class, some
And because
pills.
it's Oklahoma's huge system.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
his-
because
his-
it's
he's-
distro focused.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. His crazy. He's like, I wish I could do smaller batches because he's on a 30.
Whoa.
And everybody's on
That
a
is a
30.
commitment,
okay.
man.
And,
Yeah.
well, they had no
Because
choice.
that's the way Oklahoma
Yeah.
was until
because
recently.
up until
Yeah,
probably
couldn't have a tap room.
2000, God,
was it what's
18 maybe, 17.
Liquor lust sucks sometimes.
Well, they
Every
finally
state
got them
has their own
changed.
weird
Yeah.
arcade
Yeah,
laws.
they do.
And so they've got a great Brewers Association down there. And once the taproom thing was a thing, the weird thing is you would go like their knockoff of Quick Trip is on Q down there.
Yep.
Okay.
And they've got a
It's
whole.
funny you say their knockoff of Quick Trip's based in Oklahoma.
Well, no, in Tulsa. But there was a gentleman's agreement between the on-Q people and the. Look, I know
really?
this is firsthand that the Tulsa they were like, okay, we're not going to encroach on each other's territory.
Yep.
And so that's why there's no on-Qs in Tulsa. There's no Quick Trips in Oklahoma City.
Really? I had no
Okay.
idea.
Oh, absolutely.
right.
And from my television people who know these businesses, absolutely. So, but you go to on-Qs in Oklahoma, and there's a whole Oklahoma craft brew section of 16-ounce cans.
That's
no, I
sweet.
take that back. Of 20-ounce cans.
In the gas station.
Yes.
Ooh, I like
That's
a
awesome.
20-ounce
Love
can's
that.
cool.
Yeah. So it's as we've learned over the years, every state and every there's some
I mean,
weird
you know,
fucking
what is it?
brew
Is it
laws.
New Jersey. New Jersey that has your liquor license could cost $1 million
Whoa.
because there's only so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like inherited.
So
or
you
they're
know
sold
that's
and they're-
about to go
yeah.
away. I just saw a story the
Well,
other day.
I know they've been working on it.
Yeah,
because
so-
I'm
I would
following
be
our
so
friends
pissed
at,
if I had bought
at
one.
Four Cities.
Well, there's
Right.
Four City, which
yeah.
you know.
I'd
is
be
the-
like, the state, can you pay me back on
If
this?
you buy one on the secondary
But, like,
market,
they can't
and,
do
then,
it.
and then that
they
goes away.
can't have, they
bootleg
can't
license.
have parties for like the Super Bowl.
yeah.
we're gonna bootleg license.
exactly.
I
can't
got
do-
this off the
Yeah.
down on 23rd and Truce.
Now,
You know what I'm saying?
some of that does happen locally. Like there's the 3 a.m. liquor licenses in Kansas City.
Yeah, you'll pass those
They
along.
don't offer new ones. I mean, that you can apply, but they don't approve them. And so they can't. They are transferable, and they do
Yeah.
sell.
Most,
And that,
Look,
that
shout
does
out to
get.
shout out to Ugly Joe's.
yeah, right?
I think for
3
me,
a.m. baby.
the brewery I remember was last year. Our stop on the way to Pittsburgh for Barrel and Flow. We pulled off the interstate in Dayton, Ohio,
Yeah.
and walked into Alematic.
Oh,
Great
cool.
brewery. Got one of the co-owners that was in there, and just he just took care of us, and we ended up had a couple flights.
Yeah, great brewery. All they have the greatest flight boards I've ever seen. It's those
the adapters from the 33 to the 45.
You know what that's called?
I forget what they're called.
I think it's called a butterfly or some shit.
Yeah.
The one that went inside, but their flight board was that.
That's cool.
And all their beers were either hip hop or R&B.
Oh, I like
really?
that. That's way cool.
Super,
I
and
dig that.
really great beers. Really great beers.
Yeah, those were fantastic beers.
So as you guys opened, so you're doing the brewery thing. How'd the food thing come about? Was that? Would you guys think we're going to open, but we're going to have food as well?
Do you want to talk about it, Grant?
Well, so in the first location that Joe was talking about earlier, we were near enough to restaurants that we thought that this is just a brewery. But once we saw this location, we knew we were far enough away from restaurants or food trucks or something that there was going to be a need for food.
Also,
And-
during that time, it was like we were talking to brother brewery owners, and they were just like, they're like, don't freaking rely on food trucks.
Yeah.
You're gonna break your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the best, grass is greener on everybody's side, and they were just like, don't control. They're like, you're gonna want food.
Yeah.
Control food. Even like Central Standard was like, we're making paninis in the back,
Yeah.
and they were like, this was an afterthought, and we wish we would have done this.
Yeah, we
from the start.
knew other breweries that started with a warming kitchen or no kitchen and then built into it because they would lose their whole tap room. They'd have a great right after work crowd in the tap room, and then that would crash at dinner time.
But-
so we knew we wanted food in here.
And it's a great choice because think about it now. That's the thing. If you
Oh, yeah.
have food,
it's a draw.
Think about what happened to Diametric when they got Burn Theory.
Yeah.
It's changed their fortunes,
Yeah.
man. It's
For sure.
It's stupid. So everybody
For
now,
sure.
it makes perfect sense. Even down at Transparent, you get some people who only come eat the food,
Yep.
but at least they're here,
Yeah.
and they're aware.
Yeah, Crane with the barbecue.
Yeah.
helping,
With
They had
Tyler.
harp.
Yes,
And
yes.
they're getting ready to get a permanent food thing.
I wonder if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna get Bryant's in there
Yeah.
now that they're affiliated with them.
Oh, sure.
I don't think it's gonna be Bryant's. It might be. It might
That would be
it
super
might be.
cool as shit if
well,
they
yeah,
did.
it would, but I think it may be. What's the chips?
Like a Guy's.
It's
Guy's
Deli.
Snacks.
chips.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
A Guy's Deli right there would be
But
perfect.
Guy's
having
Deli, yeah.
food it brings a different
important.
crowd, but it keeps people there.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
indeed. For us, we knew our beers were going to have to cost a lot because we do. So we didn't dig I guess me talking about thiolized yeast and all that. Like we do all that to our beers. Everything that can be done to a hazy to make it right, we do it, and that's why we. You got to celebrate your successes in life, right?
Oh,
it's really-
there it is. He's got
What
it.
you got there? What you got?
For the viewers, you can
Grant
see we got
pulls
the
up this cheesy shadow box of our third place medal that we got.
This is
GABF
GABF
medal for Red AF.
medal for
That's
Red
not
AF.
cheesy. You got to celebrate that. You got to brag about that shit.
It's tough. We're
that's
crazy. We're crazy proud
But
of
we
that.
knew we knew we were going to do everything we could to make the hazy IPAs as awesome as they could be, and that's going to be expensive. So we knew that price point was going to be a touch high, and so we wanted food that was also elevated. And then
Gotcha.
we wanted a bar program. We knew that we were going to do a full liquor license, and so we wanted cocktails that would match that as well. We had spent some time over at Tomstown and felt like they really elevated what the cocktail industry was prior in Kansas City to them. I felt like they kind of, and maybe they weren't the first, but
Yeah.
they were really opened my eyes.
David's owner, isn't it? And he was also. I mean, the service industry was super gracious with his time. Met with us, talked to us about certain things that we'll want to do, and so that was a really cool experience doing that.
So based on you're talking about the price point.
Yeah.
Has there been any pushback?
Oh yeah,
on
that's
that?
the biggest.
Because
that's the biggest. Yeah.
to be honest with you, out in the market, because I talk to people,
Yeah.
Right.
they're like, you guys are pretty pricey.
Indeed.
Which it's whatever. I go to New York, $10 for a beer. It's I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If
Right.
I like your beer, I'm going to drink it.
Right.
And my dude over at Oak and Steel, he's pretty pricey too.
yeah, Kyle
Yeah.
does a great job
Yeah.
curating
Yeah.
great beer selection.
So his shit is curated like
Yes,
crazy
it
though.
is.
Yeah, Kyle does an amazing
So
job.
what's been the reception to that?
Well, yeah, Beer Station when they were still open, they had Brewers read mean Brewers read
Yeah.
mean tweets as
Yeah.
Brewers read
Yeah.
mean reviews, and all of our reviews were price based. So, is it? And the question is always, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And so, some customers, a lot of them feel that it is, and some don't. And I feel that because it's expensive is hard, but the beer would not taste the way it does if it weren't priced where it was.
And Grains and Taps, I know they don't like, like there's some places all their beers are like transparent, not transparent, diametric. All their beers are $6.
Oh,
they should not be. Like when they do Test Cat, that yearly, I think that should be like $8 beer, but they sell for $6. We have a beer right now, a transparent, that's a barrel aged in Basil Head and barrels for 17 months with low vanilla, a little brown sugar. It's a $9 pour for 8 ounces.
Yeah.
Nobody. I've had one person balk at that.
I mean, I was expecting higher just because that's, so rare.
Well, and different beers have different.
Different beers have different margins. Charge more
I mean,
for that.
Yeah.
You got to keep the margin, so different beers are priced different.
Right.
And sometimes I have to explain to people it's a more expensive beer to make because Grains and Taps is the same way. You can get a $5 beer and there's some $8 beers.
Look, it's the same reason a steak is more expensive than chicken fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's absolutely right.
I mean,
it's true.
You had steak and chicken fingers. Anyway,
but am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
With our Grant was talking like our food, and so one of our challenges with the business is just listening to what people are asking for and what they're wanting. So we did know we wanted to attract as many people and to bring people into the beer culture as possible, which is, as you guys know, amazing, welcoming, super super fun. But to do that, we knew we needed food, like as a base portion. And then we were like, okay, this is where we started to get into where shit starts to get harder. And then we were like, all right, cool. Now we're also going to do cocktails. So then on top of that, all right, great. Now we need to make sure that we've got wine on it too.
What are you pointing at?
Time for the bag.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, you just cut off his story, bro.
And
so he's next.
With it, we opened.
He's taking care of that bag.
We opened with a food program that was like, same chef. We've got Chef Ben, and he was like, we just told him, dude, we know we want beer, we want it to be good, or we know we want food. Do it, make something great. So he was like, great, I'm gonna fucking do this thing baller.
Yeah.
So we had like $40 steaks on. That just did not play. And ultimately, we had some management in house at the time. We've always been extremely hands on, but during that time, during our opening, we were very hands off. It just didn't feel right, and it was not true to what our core and soul was.
Your
and
vision,
so we changed our menu. I mean, it's mainly sandwiches, it's fries, it's beer drinking food. It's the stuff that like when we dreamed about it, what we wanted, and then people will take you on a journey, and if you let them take you there, then sometimes it's right. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the consumer has to dictate what they're wanting, and we were not well received on it. And I was like, let's fucking change. I was like, looked at Grant and looked at James, and they were all like, let's fucking change it, man.
Yeah.
Like we have full control over this. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because
being willing to do that is important.
You guys were the early
hard.
adopters to having like scratch made food and doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And there was a place in New York City called Torst. And when I think about $10 beers, I went in there. It was just you couldn't even when you walk, you couldn't even find the place. It had no sign. You had to know where the fuck it was.
Cool.
But you would roll up
that's
in
cool.
there. Yeah. And if you've ever been to Hand in Glove in downtown Lee Summit, it's all this white marble stemware, but all beers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the food was kind of like what you guys are doing, kind of the high end, but it was a different type of cuisine that you would not expect. But the beer selection, I was like, oh, there's some Prairie here, there's some American Solera,
Oh yeah.
there's some what everybody loves out of St. Louis.
Oh, side project.
There was some
Project,
side project.
yeah.
I was like, this is a fucking great concept.
Yeah, you're like-
but I'm not sure we could pull that off in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
how long you can do it for.
And I think, the times I've come in here and seen the people who are eating, those are not the beer drinkers.
Right.
It's the
Right.
people who are coming to get a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so Diametric is kind of evolving into that too, because you get people in there and they're just, I'm gonna drink a Coke, but I want the food.
Yeah.
So it's good. I know you hate the word to pivot
I'm fine with that word.
You know, to do that, because you have to, you know, you guys talked about this earlier. You kind of have to evolve and say, okay, what do people want?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, ultimately for us, I mean, so with the 15 barrel system, it was huge. We knew eventually our goal was to get, and we added 2 big 30 barrel fooders. We wanted sours out in the world. We wanted the rad out in the world. We wanted to do it in an affordable way, because when we were in Denver and stuff and drinking hazies, you know, these were like $10, $9 hazies. And like, fuck, they were so hoppy that you were like chewing on them, and it like, there was so much hop burn to it, which, you know, there's a time and a place, but like, I don't know about you guys, but I want to drink more than like one half of a beer,
Right.
you know? So,
I'm
that was
going
the
to have
deal.
you pause there. It's time for another mystery
Hell
beer.
yeah, let's do it.
Mystery beer.
Did you
I'm
guys
out of
guess
beer.
these?
No, we didn't guess. Do you want to guess?
4.5 on the
4.5? 5.
Central Standard.
I'm going to go 5.
4.7.
It is 4.5 Grant Wiener.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
no
baby.
more beer left, though. Sorry.
Well, this has wax on it. I kind of want it.
Yeah, go for it. So Grant, while he's doing that,
Yes,
wait.
Nigel.
I know you guys are in distro.
I'm going to go get a
I want to
opener
talk
for
about
this. I'm going to cut this.
I think it has a little pull on the side of it, doesn't it?
Right here,
shit.
Joe.
Does
It
it?
does
I
have
think
a
it has a little pull.
You gotta cut it right there, too.
No, that's Oklahoma for you. It's got a little pull on it.
Nice.
I know you guys are in distro now,
Yes.
but let's talk about the van days when I would see you riding around in the van, bro.
Grant's the best freaking van driver, too.
I got a great story. I saw him in front of Fringe. I was like, "What's up, dude?"
Yeah.
He's like, "You want some beer?"
Nice.
I was.
Were you like the little kid passing by? I got
Yeah,
some
it's like
candy.
ice cream man and shit. You know what I'm saying?
dude. Yeah.
Man, what
Hell
was that
yeah.
like being when you guys went into self distro?
Yeah.
How long did that last?
It was wild. It was stressful. So initially,
Grant still got PTSD.
I do.
from that.
So my role,
That lasted, what,
my
2
role
years,
with the
3 years?
brewery changed because I was supposed to be heading up production.
Yeah.
But I had the most distribution experience of
Yeah,
us
yeah,
all.
yeah.
So when that pandemic hit, we needed to move. We needed to pivot. And,
Well done, sir.
Yeah. So James, it came off of marketing and onto beer production. And by the way, let me take this opportunity to say, like, he was like, all right, download everything about the hazies, get me up to speed on this. And he has taken it to new heights. I mean, he is like, there's no question that like Rad wouldn't have won the medal without it. We're so proud and happy of our hazies, and it's because he's absorbing new industry knowledge about making those. And so hell yeah. Awesome move. And so at the same time, I had to go into distro. And what we decided to do was, since we were legally allowed to self-distribute, we bought a van. We had it wrapped with the Rad logos.
The wrap costs almost more than the van.
You dang right. And it was the right thing to do.
That is awesome. Was it an Astro van?
No, it's a Ford E150.
Which is
I was
also
really hoping
way
it was an Astro
underbuilt
van.
for what we did to it.
So we bought this van off. We went on Independence Avenue. Yeah, you ready
Get
for
the
this?
fuck
So
outta
we
here.
bought this van.
This
Wow.
beer
It
smells
starts with we went to
incredible.
Independence Avenue.
We'll tell the van story here in a second.
Okay.
So this is Chang Mool, I think, is what it's called. Chag Mool. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
I'm screwing it
the
up.
font is weird.
Bourbon barrel aged imperial stout with ancho chilies, cinnamon, vanilla, cacao nibs, and marshmallow. This has every single adjunct that I love: ancho
Yes.
chilies, cinnamon, vanilla,
Holy
cacao, and fucking
moly.
marshmallow. The only thing that would
Marshmallow.
like do this like complete me would be coconut in there. But I'm sure since it's barrel aged, we're probably gonna get some of that
Well,
vanilla.
you're getting the impression.
Yeah,
of
this,
that's,
I can
that's-
I
smell.
mean, just the nose on that.
that's
so
Rough
this
Tail
beer,
Brewing.
first off, for
This is
everybody.
a rough tail.
Oh yeah, Rough Tail.
This is legit.
I mean,
everybody
take
listening.
a look at
And
that. folks.
I've probably been sitting on this beer for a good
Oh
year.
man.
This
Oh, this
beer,
is something.
it's thick like motor oil. It's got a beautiful reddish, like brown tint.
Super tasty, great
I can
nose.
it is a foot and a half from my nose, and I can smell
It's got
it.
legs.
It did for
Yeah.
days.
This
She
smells
knows how to
incredible.
use that.
So, the
Anyway,
Rough
back
Tail,
to the van.
the Rough
Before-
Tail
before
crew
we-
is awesome as hell. We've hung out with them a
Oh,
few
they're
times.
awesome. They
at,
came up for Parkville this year.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And actually, that was when. So he left some beers over here. We got fucking
Oh, that's
hammered
right.
afterwards.
Yes.
Which, by the way, shout out to any breweries that want to come and hang after
Yeah,
any,
we're always-
any
Yeah.
deal. We're always
After
happy
Beer
to.
Fest, we always want to
Just
host
know we're
and,
here.
and hang.
So
we're
this
down.
is my last Rough Tail story. I was there, I don't know, a couple months ago at the brewery on a Sunday. It was super dead. Met some great people. went on a shopping spree, right?
Oh, cool.
I dropped about $300.
Yeah, I
on
was gonna say
PA
easy
and
to do
merch.
there.
As
yeah,
you do.
But the creme de la creme of the merch, they have tracksuits.
Yes.
And they were like $40.
No way.
And I had to buy a tracksuit.
God
So it's,
damn it.
so it's
Yeah.
orange with the gecko on it, bro.
Yes.
It's so dope.
Oh,
so when I
man,
wear,
I love
when
that.
I don't think the pants are gonna fit because I'm kind of tall. But the jacket, when I wear it out, people are like, "Is that an Adidas?" It looks just like an Adidas. It's totally
Dude.
knockoff.
Okay.
But
Are
it's-
you breaking that out at Barrel and Flow?
if it fits? I haven't tried the pants on.
I feel like this needs to happen.
Should I bring my romper as well?
Yes.
Nice.
But anyway, I digress. So you were telling the van story.
Oh, well, first.
You want to do the beer first?
were you
is
in
it-
a van down
is
by the
it-
river?
Grant's doing it. Is it possible for? Can we?
I mean, I wouldn't be
We
opposed
just
to
lost
it.
Grant.
Can we do a bathroom break?
He just ran away.
I mean, yeah, we can do a bathroom break.
Let's do a bathroom break.
We
I
can do a
mean, that
bathroom
was-
break apparently.
he went fast.
He had to pee apparently.
Grant's trying to do it. He's trying to get in there.
I mean, we can bathroom break. That just means you got to edit this part out.
I don't edit.
No editing. All right, I'm going to the bathroom.
Matter of fact, I'm going to talk right here. Grant is going pee right now.
I mean, it's just you and I now. This
Watch
is not,
out for the
this
Stay
is not
Puft
our first
Marshmallow
bathroom
Man.
break. I could probably make it. We're an hour 30 in.
I think we're good.
It's been a great conversation.
This has been fun. This beer is
Oh, bro.
fantastic.
And I debated because I've got like 7 or 8 beers. I've got like 4 Rough Tail beers. The one I was going to bring, I just got it. I was like, no, it's called Wake Me Up Before You.
Go?
No, Cocoa.
Yes. Cow, bitches!
I'm not sure there's any cacao in it, but
I'm editing that
I've
right
been
now.
I've been signaling this one up on for a minute. And I've got
This is
I've got a 2020 fucking cookies and cream from Grains and Taps
Oh.
that I didn't know I had.
Those hold
Thank
well,
you, dear.
by the
Appreciate
way.
it. She's so good. You said hydrate or dihydrate.
Hydrate or diet?
Is that a? You know what? You guys need to do a hot water.
I could
Hydrate or
hydrate.
dihydrate.
Oh yes.
I love it.
Love that.
You know what my shit is right now? Is the Lagunitas Hobby Refreshers. Have you had those? Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah,
the flavored ones, just the regular ones.
The Sierra Nevada one is great.
I haven't had that one.
Yeah, it's just hop water.
Where'd you get that?
I had it at ITAP, just down the street here. But it's in the liquor
Really?
stores.
Nigel's
I
going to
can't-
have an ITAP like, 6 feet from him. So
Yeah, they're putting ITAP in Lee Summit.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's going to be tiny.
Where's that
though.
going in at?
You know where?
basically at the corner by the train
It
depot.
used to be. It used to
Yep.
be the wedding dress store.
Okay.
It's in that corner right there.
Oh, that's great.
But it's
That's-
tiny.
yeah, that's gonna be great.
It's got a little circle bar.
Small is good. Small is good. You
I'm
can
not
fill
sure
it
how
out.
I feel about it.
Why?
Well, again, because they don't do food, so you would.
Well,
need,
there's going to be a.
There's going to be a food
There's
next
going to be like
door.
maybe a guy's deli next door.
Okay, great.
Well, the guy's pulled out.
It's phrasing.
They're not making any babies in there.
Here we are. Here we are. Phrasing. Anyway, about this beer though.
So this beer, we can talk about the beer.
Yeah,
Let's-
I've been sitting on this. Probably not really sitting on it. I love that brewery. When they get barrel aged shit or whatever, I just keep them.
It has a really big mouthfeel.
Yeah.
You kind of go through almost every single flavor. The bourbon barrel is really strong in
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but it's no bourbon burn. I
And
don't
it's not
get.
boozy burn.
No, it finishes very smooth.
The marshmallow comes through really nice on it. I don't get a lot of the chilies. Do you get chilies?
A hint o' chili
On the end.
Is it? Yeah, it's coming
Nigel
in.
has a sensitive throat.
comes through more like phrasing. Comes through more like
No, I fully meant that.
like the nice.
That's actually real.
It comes through like the way coffee.
Yeah.
kind of goes.
That's where you're getting it.
Green peppery the
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
in a beer.
But it's kind of a big chocolate flavor too.
But yeah, no big vanilla
Yeah.
How about
chocolate.
cinnamon? You
you
get the
know,
cinnamon in it.
Like yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
the cinnamon with
I
the
get
chilies
cinnamon.
together.
Yeah.
This is a great.
Just sits
This
on your
is
tongue a little bit.
I love
I have
this.
a Bottle Logic beer that we can also try if we're looking
Ooh.
to, if we're looking to get
Are
messed
we
up
going
today.
that way? This just became
I
a
didn't
3-hour
try it.
podcast,
I
boys.
do, yeah, I do love a big barrel aged stout.
Yeah.
This is a good
Can't drink
finish
a lot
beer.
of them though.
Finish of what? We've only had 2 mystery beers.
Oh, well,
There's
then
another
never
one
mind.
in
It's
there.
a good keep
Yeah,
going
to
beer.
keep it going. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, what's so I'll who won last time? Grant won, so you have to start.
11-2.
11-2?
No, you're under, bro.
It's-
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
gotta
say,
be. I'm
I'm
probably
going
under.
higher.
Yeah.
I don't know about the legs, but
Yeah, I think you're under.
I'm
I
saying
feel like it-
12.
got legs.
Just knowing these bitches down in Oklahoma,
yeah.
they don't play. They
I'm
don't
saying
fuck around.
12-8 on this one.
Nice.
I'm gonna go 13-2.
Yeah, that's probably more. It is a little thinner too at the
You know what? I'm
finish.
gonna be bold.
Going
14.
14 even.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Drum roll.
Okay.
Only because you took mine. You took mine at 13.
I know. Yeah.
And it doesn't have it on here.
It doesn't.
No.
Are you sure?
Maybe. Yeah. Here, you check.
Let me see.
I can't see that shit. He's handing it to me like.
All
I
right.
hold it out this
I don't
far.
see it.
What's the beer name?
There is not.
What's it? What?
Check
What's it called?
Check Mool?
You're gonna have to spell it, baby.
CHAGQRLMNOP.
M-O-O-L. There, it is not on there.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Right there. 13.
Oh.
Fuck, I think I don't
both
remember
went
what I
over.
said.
Yeah, I was 13-2, wasn't I?
I don't remember. I think
I
I
said
said
11-2.
I think I
you
said
guys,
12-8.
you guys
You
were
were
under,
12-8?
yeah.
I think I said 12-8.
That's you. That's
Maybe.
Joe
I don't,
all day.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess that
Never
would be
play
you.
bags with me because I'll always be like,
Like, what was that
I'll
score
always be
again?
like, I think I'm at 21. I don't know. Even before
Feels
throwing.
like,
Are you
yeah.
guys all right?
Don't play bags with me either because I suck.
So back to the van.
Yeah.
I moved over to Distro. We bought that van. We had it wrapped, and I literally just drove around
That's
and
all
started
you, but, you know.
visiting liquor stores.
I mean, you can
just
share.
me
Yeah,
alone.
share
for
alike.
sure.
Man, that does pour thick. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Two C's, right?
Nice.
Thick with
yeah,
two
way to
Cs.
go,
Yeah,
Grant.
yeah.
Way to go.
So-
You know, they got the crispy boys, we got the thick boys.
That's right. So no, just literally going to liquor stores and saying, would you want to carry this? And the answer was yes, yes, yes. And then bars that could open when we did that,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And next thing you know, I'm driving around. I can't keep up with all the. Then I had to move to phone calls,
Yeah.
and then emails. And then, you're spending a whole day phone calling and emailing and compiling and then deliver. And next thing you know, you got to hire somebody to gather orders and somebody to drive.
How
and
big of a territory were you doing?
we're talking,
You went out all the way to Green Valley one time.
yeah. Captains. in
And
Green
guess
Valley.
what? And so the thing that
I've
City
been drunk
Barrel
with captains a few times.
the thing that
sure,
City
me
Barrel
too.
did, which like
sure.
most places don't do, is they would be like, there's order minimums a lot of times before
Yeah.
somebody will go. But Grant was like, "You want a fucking case of beer?
You want a
bring you
beer? We're
case.
going.
I'll bring
We're
you a
going,
case."
baby.
And shit, that's like if you're a small producer, that's your only advantage over somebody else.
You take what you get.
yeah, and like we're like, fuck, thanks for carrying our beer. We're
Yeah.
honored.
So Liberty up
it still are.
north, Green Valley
Yeah.
out east, and then Belton
Down
is
south
as
of
far
Belton,
south as
yeah.
we
Yeah.
could
Far
go,
north, where'd you go? Farthest north.
we sent beer to
Stables up there, right?
Yeah, Stables is in Kearney.
Yeah.
So I've been to Kearney a few times with
What
the
about in
Kegarad.
Smithville too? We did a Hy-Vee.
Yeah, we got.
Well,
we,
I'm getting the burn from the chili.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a
That's a good throw,
Costantino's
bro.
Price Chopper up there that
Yeah, the
supported us.
Costantino's are
So
great.
yeah.
So we're an hour 37 in, so we're gonna wrap it.
Okay.
But we got to talk about the new venture.
Oh,
Yeah.
We got to talk
We get
about
this
the new.
deep without bringing it up?
Oh, wait. No, he's bringing out another.
Well,
Oh man,
I mean-
damn it! I saw the ABV.
Oh damn it! No, I'm talking about the venture that's coming later this year.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
At the-
We're
at the-
Joe's the right person to talk to about
the,
that.
for, the former
we
beer
were-
station.
We were this. So we took over the beer station building, which was an absolute honor to transfer over from John Couture, who's maybe one of the greatest people.
Yeah.
If there was like a Hall of Fame of beer in Kansas City, John Couture and John McDonald would
Yeah, all
probably
the
be on there.
Johns.
But in all honesty, I had, as soon as we opened up City Barrel, so I live in that neighborhood in Waldo, and where Beer Station's located, it's such a great community, just as much as like Lee Summit, anywhere you live. It's big and supportive, but John did a really unique thing, which was changing laws, getting things changed
Thank you,
over
sir.
so that he could bring craft beer to Kansas City, and he is really, honestly, like a beer godfather of craft beer
Yeah.
here. And Nigel, I know you said you loved going there, and that's kind of the legacy that we're going to have to continue on
Yeah.
into that spot, and trying to figure out, what honestly, ultimately, John kind of discusses was the undoing of Beer Station was just. There's this great movement of craft breweries open, but then people want to go right to the source, which is hard, and especially if you're a craft beer bar, then you have to really curate
Yes.
a custom menu,
Yes.
which I think Kyle Howard does an amazing job at Oak and Steel. He really pushes it in providing unique options. And so ultimately John was just, after 10 years of, constantly pushing a boulder up the hill, he was like, hey, I've got an opportunity. I kept reaching out to him for almost 3 years, just saying like, John, when you're tired, no one came to me when I owned my first business and did this. And John was gracious enough to even just have a conversation with us. And we're the owners of that space, which is awesome. And we'll be opening up a pizza concept.
Yeah.
We wanted to do, honestly, so we were talking about food. We wanted to do like pizza down here, but there's 3 idiots starting a brand new venture, which we had no experience owning a restaurant or doing anything. And Grinders down the road from us here in Crossroads opened. We could not do pizza. And then we're like, cool, then we'll do tacos. Well, then Mission Taco was here.
Yeah,
we're like,
yeah,
okay, well, we can't do anything good.
Yeah.
So we've got the American kind of concept with like fusion of foods down here. But ultimately, pizza and beer has been like our biggest like love.
Yeah.
I mean, shit,
Yes.
it's so good.
Who hasn't done that? Right?
Dude, I don't know. There's a few things in life where, like, people ask what your last meal would be. Mine would easily be a pizza. And, like, nothing beats, like, think of that, like, cold pitcher of just, like, shitty American lager and an ice cold beer with a hot pizza. That combo is just, I love.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take that concept, bring it into City Barrel 2. It'll be City Barrel Pizza Patio. And so our deal is John did such a good job of curating a great beer list. I think where we're looking for how we can differentiate ourselves. Yeah, it's great to have a bunch of City Barrel beer, but John has 36 taps.
Right.
And, we can't brew that much here. So we'll have probably 18 to 15 taps. And the rest we want to do local KC Metro
That's the thing.
beers.
Yep.
And
That's
give,
the hook,
and give
yeah.
people experience because, like, ultimately, let's keep that beer culture moving forward. So if somebody finds something let's say they like something at Transport and they're like, fuck, I want to try it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sometimes people just need a catalyst to get them to move, to go somewhere. And if we can let us be that, and we want to be that, to push beer culture going forward. Because, if we can sell the beer and people enjoy it, then everybody's going to win on it, which is going to be great.
It's like when Diametric did Together We Can.
Oh, holy
yeah.
shit. Talk
Yeah,
about like
for
an
sure.
understated
There were
deal.
beers that I was like, oh, why am I not drinking this?
Uh-huh.
And I'm working there. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. I had so much goddamn beer during COVID that was just, I bought it. I wanted support,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm going to drink some beers.
Yeah.
The
And
logistics and like effort to put that together and
I
bring
was-
the brewing community
I
together.
was there for the first day.
Holy-
It was a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
But
It took people 2 hours to get beers.
Yeah.
But then we were like, okay, let's do this online thing, and then by the 6th time, it was great. But I
Right.
mean,
But as somebody who just was there to like take a picture, right, and look at it, like that was amazing to watch.
but
Yeah.
it was a good opportunity for people to try everybody's beer that they might not have gone, when they got Kansas involved.
Yeah.
When we were getting beers from all over. We had people coming
People
from
drove
all
from
over.
Nebraska
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
and
awesome.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, in
to
all
pick up
honesty,
beer.
it was when he came and proposed it. That was the most epic thing I'd ever heard of and most radical.
Was that
difficult to
Mac or
pull off.
Sean?
It was Mac. Yeah.
To
Well,
pull
Mac's
off.
crazy. That's why.
I
So
am
crazy,
I'm
it just
actually
might
still
work.
dumbfounded, and honestly, we will never ever be able to pay him back.
Yeah, that was
the brewing
really
community
good.
needs to be able to pay that back. And during that time, it was such a difficult but also incredible time to see the spotlight and qualities of people come out.
I don't know how they pulled off getting Kansas breweries.
Bro, he figured that
They
shit
were,
out
they,
though.
were getting,
out.
they were getting CSB beers.
Let's
Yeah.
not even worry about it.
Figured it out.
Let's not even question it.
Sorry,
Don't
government.
ask too many
Sorry,
questions.
government, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ask
It
no
was-
questions, I'll tell you no lies.
That was an incredible and I think an ultimate testament. Restaurants weren't doing anything close to that. Restaurants were doing a good job of at least bringing food to people that really were needing it, but nothing. I can't think of an example of anything that like brought everybody together. That was
No, it was fucking
That
epic.
was great,
I
yeah.
will get emotional thinking about that.
No,
Like, it was insane.
I was on ground zero for that shit, and I remember trying to get these orders and then trying to bag them up, and it was all alphabetical, and then
Okay.
people would show up, and then
Yeah,
there's
throughout
there's a lot of W last names out there.
Yeah.
So you got to sift through. We're like,
Yeah.
and then we couldn't find them. Like, let me get a second set of eyes.
Right.
It was crazy, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
community
and
that
for
pulled
them to
together
pull
on
that off, I'm like that. I mean, then there were T-shirts, then were bags. I mean, we had this one group would come from Fayetteville, Arkansas, every week, every time we did it.
Dude, that's insane.
They would buy $900 in beer
That's
because
mental.
it was all beer they couldn't get.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
awesome.
to your point, when
The
you do
number
the
of people
when
that
you do the,
loaded
when
their
you,
trunks.
yeah, when you do the
That's so
pizza
cool.
place,
Build a trunk.
you know,
Wow.
you've got a captive audience over there who may not have had
Yeah.
Grains and Taps or Diametric or
Yeah.
Pathlight or whoever, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you can get those. Man, it's a great concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if everybody stays in their own community a lot of times on stuff, and so even if we can send at least money back to said brewery.
Yeah.
You know, if they would never visit Three Trails for some reason or something, like all these amazing breweries, like everybody needs an opportunity because we are doing really good things in Kansas City with beer, which is amazing, and everybody should try it. That's the best part about craft
Yeah.
beer. So I don't know, I feel like we have a cool opportunity.
Yeah.
To be able to push that. And that's, for me, that's like what gets me up in the morning, despite all the paperwork and the filing. It's like the way Mac was doing it on just like,
Yeah.
hey, we just need to get this
I
out
mean,
there. Volunteers.
lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Beer tending, telling people about beer in general, but then saying, hey, have you been here? Have you been here? Have you been here? Or people ask me, I get a lot of people ask me, have you been to such and such? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or somebody will just show up something. I had a guy at Diametric. He was like, I'm going to tip you, but I'm going to give you a beer. Fuck yes.
Yeah. Yes, please.
And
Yeah.
he brought it was a Black is Beautiful during COVID from Minnesota, Minneapolis, Black Stag, Black Flag, Black something or another. And I had 22 different Black is Beautifuls. That one was stupid. So, it's about beer, but it's also about community, about relationship.
Yeah.
It's I don't know any other business that does this. Here we are.
Well, the fact that we can talk about it now let's just appreciate this moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're lucky that
absolutely.
we made it on the other side.
It's so fucking cool.
What Nick always says, what do you always say? Kobe did what?
COVID ruined everything.
It did.
But in industries like this, and we always talk about the beer community, right? Like the craft beer world came together, man. And in Kansas City, where we are, we didn't really lose anybody because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
When we tell this story all the time to people, we've talked to people all around the world, and we tell the Together We Can story, and they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Y'all did what? I'm like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
real,
So cool.
yeah, so.
Yeah, that was an epic time.
Dude, we were delivering the equivalent of like a pallet of beer
Yeah.
to those events every time.
It was so much.
It was so
goddamn-
crazy. It
Even
was
after
awesome.
we quit doing Together We Can, there was so much beer left. We're like, well, we don't have to drink it.
yeah.
Well, that first time too, man, when it was down that outer road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
remember there were
cars-
like news stories. There was helicopters viewing
Yeah.
it, and that was a cool.
Yeah, the police didn't know what to do. The local police did not know what to do.
Well,
Bro,
we didn't have a permit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that part out loud.
Well, would you know? Would you know that like cars would line up 400 long to go around
No,
the
no,
city?
I mean, no.
It's like
You
a
know what I mean?
Whataburger
Like,
was
you wouldn't have
opening.
known.
Yeah, it's like that goddamn Whataburger and Lee Summit.
Patrick
Get the fuck
Mahomes
out
is
of
involved
here.
in this.
Yeah.
I know.
Bullshit.
Fucking A.
Fucking
Yeah, it was just the
look.
power of it
That was
all.
before the cease and desist.
Right.
So
was.
what's our beer here? We've got
Yeah.
grains
what
and
are we
taps.
drinking
So
now?
lemon meringue pie,
From
Grains and Taps.
G&T.
brewed in historic downtown Lee Summit.
Yep.
This beer smells absolutely incredible. I get
it-
the pie on the nose. The lemon is
Yeah.
nice. It's
Yeah.
like that sherbety lime, almost
Yeah,
like
Look,
a
I'm
key
going to give
lime.
a shout out. Their sherbet series that they do in Grains and Taps.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
every
yeah.
single
Nice.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
they
yeah.
just, yeah. And it's
Nailed
just,
it.
I was telling somebody last night, that's a style nobody else really does. Sherbet fucking sours. It's just,
Right.
And they just keep doing them.
Yeah.
Fucking shout out to Brian Frymiller, who's
Hell
the
yeah.
head brewer. He just got married.
Hey,
happy
congrats.
happy nuptials.
Yeah.
He's
Sorry about your wedding video, man.
no. The wedding video was fine. So he and I shot his wedding video.
Oh, nice.
And I just sent him to him.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And they were like, they loved it.
Oh, really? Because
Oh.
I have no talent or skill.
but I can tell you how to fucking.
I think you look at this board that was right by us. You guys should miss. It looks like we're about to go to an EDM show.
I mean, pretty much.
It has
Well, I
lots
mean,
of different
that's
colors.
The whole podcast in the
I mean,
background
look at
is
me.
EDM
I am
music.
all about EDM.
There's 8 different sliders on it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty intense.
No,
I think-
you get the crust on.
I think this is good.
That's a good beer. I don't know where to put it though. I mean, look, I'm always wrong anyway. But I don't know where to guess on
It's
that.
nice and light.
It's probably undercover.
I did see it.
It's probably 69.
Then you.
Nice.
I see it. I got rid of the ABV on there.
Okay.
I ripped it apart.
I would go 5.0.
One of these days, I'm gonna
You know what?
I take
5-1.
pre-planning
Nice.
to tape it, put some blue painter's tape, and then we rip it off.
Oh, there you go.
He did that. He
Yeah.
did that once,
One
and he
time.
announced it
I
as a new
forgot.
thing,
I forgot.
and then
You'd
it
have to
hasn't
find
happened
somebody
since.
to do
Nice.
it. Okay, what was our ABVs?
I went 6.9.
5.0.
5-1.
All right, you're all wrong. Some of you are under. Let's start at the let's
Oh,
change
he
this
wants
up.
to make this a challenge.
Because I saw this. I saw what it was, and it ruined my life. It starts at 6, which this does not taste at 6.
No, not at all.
wow.
It's super
Yeah.
light.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Super
So it
light.
starts at 6. It's within the 6 category. So
But not
you're gonna-
6.9.
Not 6, which is hilarious.
Nice. Nice.
6-3.
Nice.
The best
How
number.
about 6.8? I owe you one.
6.8.
6.1.
It is 6.3.
Hey.
Yeah, we
there
won.
we
You
go.
don't get it because that was, you know. You
I feel
fucked
like
it up
what
the
you
That
were
first
means we
under-
all got one.
Yeah.
Say it
all-
again?
I'm not sharing my victory.
We all, no, what I mean is each of us
yeah,
everybody-
correctly,
Gotta win.
Holy
correctly-
shit, everybody did one. Well,
Wow, that's a first.
I mean, except for Joe. Because I looked. No, I fucking looked at
we've
one.
never had a show where
I can't help
everybody finished.
myself. I scan
Crazy.
labels and I want to see what's going on. Yeah, and this label's cool as hell. Yeah, these guys are great, man. Yeah, there's just so much great beer in Casey right
Yeah.
now.
So last question, because we're going to wrap this up.
Let's do it.
This is going to be a long episode, which is fine because our episodes average hour and a
an hour
half.
30.
And we laughed about it.
We
He's
did.
like, how long do we go? I was like, I said, how long?
How long do we talk?
How long you talk?
Yeah.
Grant and I will talk
Yeah.
beers constantly.
What'd I say?
Absolutely. You
I
were
said,
you were
I
my
like,
said
favorite
we
topic.
go. I said we go long.
and I said that's what she said.
That's not what Grant's wife says.
So you guys have kind of, because you're 4, and you kind of started in the middle of, if you will, in the boom of Kansas City beer. That's kind of the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Each of you, what's it been like? Kind of from then talking about we're going to do it to 2023. What has your personal experience been like? How would you describe your personal experience?
Exciting. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I that we were talking stressors earlier. When we were building out, I was literally puking in the shower daily. Like
Oh, yeah, I
every
remember
morning.
that.
Really?
Every morning
Yeah.
I was dry heaving in the shower just from stress.
No shit.
Yeah, well, the financials of it and the timing of it, you got to get it done. Got to get it done. There's more than you'll ever get done. I mean, we're working, minimum 12-hour days up to 16s and like basically sleeping here, and then to have wins like the GABF medal or high ratings and support of the community and but then also get humbled by who knows what a slow week or a slow month or a hard this or that, and it's just it's been a real roller coaster, man, but it's exciting and it's there's never a dull moment. So like that's really, I don't know, I'm just being real with you.
Yeah,
Like that's my real experience.
That's owning a small business, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount
Yeah.
of friends I know over breweries in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Oh no, the stories are the same.
Yeah.
It's just a different part of town.
Sure, right. So we've had a lot of life. Joe pointed out when we embarked on this that there would be children born, there would be deaths.
Yeah.
Both have come true. There've been, it's life.
I think I told you guys
happening.
this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in
Yeah.
your entire life. And honestly, through my experience, I mean, like I've owned a couple businesses before, and nothing was as traumatic and difficult, but also invigorating as COVID. During that time, but we did come in a really cool time for the Kansas City beer scene.
Yeah.
And honestly, the beer scene's in for an interesting time period. We went to the CBC, and brewery openings and closings are starting to kind of converge now. It's a very cool time. There's a lot of things that can happen during it. I do think we'll see some closings that'll happen in KC, which,
we've seen that already.
Yeah, no, and if you see a place that you like, make sure you go there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it needs to be City Barrel. It has to be transparent, Grains and Taps, or
whoever.
Diametric, or anybody, even Boulevard. If you like those breweries, go and support them. I mean,
Boulevard's not going anywhere. They got a lot of money.
they got a little more money.
They're not facing the same struggles.
They're international.
John
They got
McDonald's
$11.
not.
How
John
much is
McDonald's
that?
not driving a Ford Focus like Grant Wayner is. But I mean, support them and go through, and so. But I think there's also going to be a lot of opportunities for breweries that are either growing or want to stay the same, because there's going to be places to either acquire and expand and do something. Like if you are a brewery and you really like what you're doing and you want to keep continuing that, but you want to hit a different market, then seize that opportunity. Or, if you're really tired and you're like done, like, there's nothing shameful in with business in being like, I have done all that I can.
Yeah. Or
and
all I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right.
people have positively contributed to the Kansas City beer scene.
Yeah.
No matter what happens in the end. And so beer is in a cool ass time. Also in the fact that it's still dynamic. There's still people drinking a lot, and like people from out of town come in and hang out and shit. For example, like I said earlier, this guy, 20 minutes before the podcast came, and he was like, I've never had an IPA like this.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that's
so
that's
cool.
so invigorating to hear. I'm
Let
like,
me coach you up.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
you are in your prime time
you
right
know
now.
what I would love?
You know what you say, Nigel?
What's that?
Cacao.
Cacao. You know what I would love with Vine Street opening
Yes.
down the street
Yes.
for that, for 18th to be. Let's get rid of the bus depot.
Right.
And let's make this an actual brewer's alley.
Yeah.
Absolutely. With a streetcar expansion, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why
That would-
not?
that would
Make
be,
it
that
happen.
would be-
Mayor
that
Q?
would be
Right?
fire.
Yeah.
because
Mayor Q?
one of the-
Absolutely.
Are you
Mayor
listening?
Q, are you
things,
listening? He lives. He lives over here, right?
Yeah. One of the things I've seen, like they're talking about, how the beer industry is like they're contracting, but it's not the big boys who have all the money. It's the local, like these breweries down here are local establishments.
Yeah.
This is the future of craft beer.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, I live up the street. Let's go
Right.
have a pint
Yeah.
at City Barrel.
At your local-
Those are the ones
Yeah.
that
People
that,
like their neighborhood breweries.
They do.
Their
I mean,
neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
and the crazy thing, I've worked at Grains. I've guest bartended at a lot of places, whether it be Fringe, whether it be Big Rip, Diametric. There's people, you see a core set of people
Yeah.
who you're like, oh, those are my regulars. I mean, we've got a mud club down at Transparent right now. It's only 50 members. Those people there are a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
When I live across the alley from Grains and Taps at downtown Lee Summit. Yeah, you get a bunch of, because downtown Lee Summit has a lot of traffic, but I see the same, and it's that type of when you vibe to a place,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my shit is like 12 breweries, but
Right. Right. Yeah.
But
You got a nice.
People want their place. Everybody wants
Yeah.
to be norm.
For sure.
Right? Like everybody wants that place.
Yeah.
And I think in this world it's so hard because everything feels like it should be bigger. But let's take advantage of breweries being smaller and hanging
Right.
and
no,
like
it doesn't have to be
have
bigger.
your neighborhood
I don't
deal.
think that's what people crave.
Yeah. No, I mean not now, but like I think overall, like in the past, that's been the formula. And we're like before pre-prohibition, there were thousands of breweries.
Yes, we were
Right.
talking about Main Street.
Fuck,
Like
dude.
every big brewery had a fucking tap room.
Right.
Oh, we're going to the Slits tap room. It's the craziest shit ever.
Yeah.
Right,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Can you, yeah.
It's funny because we talk about that, and we go to Barrel and Flow. It's a big, our favorite beer festival in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We'll be there in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
But
And
with
if you'd like to help us out,
oh yeah, we've got it's a weird. So what we're doing, we're going to Pittsburgh.
Support us on our
They
Patreon
do
page.
they do 40 collabs at this beer fest.
Holy shit.
One-offs.
That's super cool.
And so what we're doing, we're saying, because we've gone for the last 4 or 5 years, we're like, hey, we're going to go. We want to share the beer karma. you donate to the cause, we're going to bring you some one-offs back.
Way cool.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We'll put
And-
we'll put a little thing on the video here.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh is an interesting beer market because we end up at breweries in these neighborhoods. Well, no, they're tap rooms. They're brewing someplace else,
Right.
but they throw the tap room in a neighborhood. I mean, and when I say a neighborhood,
In a neighborhood.
it's it's like, oh, that used to be a convenience store. Now it's a tap room.
I
For
love
sure.
that.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
it's a totally different.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
totally different.
and people are like,
vibe.
oh, you want to go see the next? We'll call them, and they'll open up for us, and we'll
Yeah.
just go down there.
And so that's
Okay.
the
Yes.
model there is, there might be the main City Barrel that brews,
Okay.
but there might be a City Barrel tap room in Lee Summit,
Okay.
Cool.
where, and it becomes that neighborhood hub
Yeah.
because most people don't care that it's brewed there or not.
Yep.
If it's good beer,
Right.
and it's in your neighborhood, and that's, it's almost like the dive bar mentality. You love to go to that spot where you feel comfortable.
Love that.
And,
Space.
when we were at that brewery or that tap
Everyone wants
room,
to go to a place where they know your name,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, you gotta be norm.
I'm telling you.
Gotta be
Everybody
norm.
wants to be
Yeah,
norm.
yeah.
Yes.
okay, one more thing before we wrap this up. So Grant has a doppelganger. You remember that dude?
Oh,
remember I
shit.
sent you that picture?
Yes.
So shout out to my dude Blake. He would come in the wind shift, and I said, I thought it was you.
Right.
And then I showed him a picture of
Grant over there.
Grant, and he showed a picture of Grant to his parents, and I guess you were holding a baby or something.
Okay, all
And they
right.
were like, "Who the fuck is that baby?"
It's even his
Nice,
post.
man.
I'll have to show you. I'll have
That's
to
so
show you
cool.
a picture of Blake.
That's awesome.
And every
Hell
time I
yeah.
see him, we crack up. He's the nicest guy. So shout out to Blake. So one of these days, we've had this whole plan. I said, let's go to City Barrel and you just show him.
All right,
and
just
we'll
show up.
we'll look for Grant.
Dude, let's
Let's
get him a
get some
staff
swag.
shirt.
Literally,
Let's get him a staff shirt.
I literally thought maybe you guys should talk to your parents. I'm just
Right.
saying, homie.
yeah, were there twins? Did we get separated?
Oh my God! Separated at
wild,
birth. We
man.
don't want two kids.
Gerald was moving
That's
around
awesome.
a lot of spots.
You
Yeah.
never know what you find out with those,
Dude,
those DNA
those
Oh my
searches.
20
God.
yeah.
Somebody had a
Yeah,
friend
yeah.
somewhere.
For sure.
You're like, does he
Right?
want a
That's
brewery?
awesome when that happens.
Well, boys, thank you for coming on. This has been great.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
hosting
This
us,
has
man.
been
This
great.
has been
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
We love doing these. They're so fun.
I do too. Yeah.
Well,
this
shit,
is-
and then
I mean, I'm sure this is the best podcast you've ever
This is
been on.
among.
This is the greatest
This is the
podcast
number
ever.
one we've ever done.
Shout out the Pitch KC right now.
Oh,
Go ahead and
yeah.
nominate us for the best local
Best local
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah,
we're
we
not a
could-
radio show
doing
turned
it.
into a
No,
podcast.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
actually
yeah,
a
yeah.
podcast.
We're an actual podcast.
Actual podcast.
The
What's up?
funny story. So we found out last year that we were nominated. We have no idea how we were nominated.
That's because
It-
people like listening to you.
But the
Yeah, your
thing
fans
was,
did.
They
you
didn't
would
tell
think
us.
they would tell us. It was 2 weeks
Yeah,
before
you
the
would.
voting was over. So we went into this whole frenzy.
Yeah.
Shout out to what's his face?
Monarchy.
Yeah, shout out to
They
Monarchy.
told us that we'd been nominated.
But
Oh, really?
what's his
Nice.
name? Who won?
Oh, Hartzell.
Hartzell Gray.
Oh,
He
yeah.
won.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, look, he's great. He's a face in Kansas City. He does a shit
We need
ton
to
of
get him
stuff.
on the podcast.
We should get him on the
be a
podcast.
fun
Hartzell.
one.
But you
We're
know
gonna
what? His
use you.
radio show won.
It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, they cut his radio show and made it a podcast. It's fine. Whatever. But hey, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys
we're,
too.
We're,
You know,
we're going to sign off. There's a whole bucket of beer left.
We're going to drink some more beers.
Hey, wish us luck.
Peace.
Hey,
Later.
drive safely.
Cheers.
Tip your waitresses.
You who?
You've been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, providing bumper-to-bumper graphic design, promo products, and print services. Find them at direoil.com. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network and is available on all of your favorite podcast flavors. Find Beers with Nigel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ask Alexa to play the Beers with Nigel podcast.